Welcome to Meadowbrook Members Podcast. I am Jelly, otherwise known as Glester Prince, and my co-host is Hitchcock, otherwise known as Alfred Henry. Our mission on this podcast series is to explore the stories behind the magic that was created at Meadowbrook. When over a span of 4 years, between 1982 and 1986, we saw the transformation of a small coeducational school with less than 1,200 students, 800 boys, 800 girls and 400 boys into a successful sports and scholastic champion, winning 7 major trophies, 3 Sunlight Cup, 2 Topping Cup, 1 Walker Cup, and 1 Nutriment Shield. And to crown these achievements, Meadowbrook also produced 2 Rhodes Scholars, Cavell Creighton in 1987 and Andrea Wright in 1989, both graduates of Meadowbrook in 1983. In this podcast series, we'll be speaking to persons, both males and female, who are actively involved in this incredible journey, along with friends and staff at Meadowbrook, which inspired the environment which created this golden era. We hope you enjoy our discussion. Please give us as much support and encouragement as you can on whatever social media platform you are listening. Welcome and thanks for joining us. All right, ready? So remember to like, share, and subscribe these Meadowbrook Members podcasts so neither you nor your friends will miss another Meadowbrook conversation. Thanks. Go. Today is Saturday, June 24th, 2023. Welcome back to another conversation about Meadowbrook Members. Me as usual, Jelly, our Glester, our Lance, our Prince, and by now you know say any one of those names will do. Joining us as co-host today is a man we don't really need no introduction to this conversation, because it's the most recent conversation on Meadowbrook Members has caused a buzz in the Meadowbrook Members community. So you must go back and listen to episode number 71 and listen to Martin Brown conversation, and make sure you like, share, hit the notification button and subscribe while you listen. So welcome back, Martin. Our guest tonight really don't need an introduction to those of us who went to Meadowbrook in the 1970s and early 1980s. Because when I introduced tonight's guest and you don't remember him, you did not attend Meadowbrook in the 1970s or early 1980s. He started Meadowbrook in 1973, the same year as our co-host, and he had the privileged opportunity of not leaving Meadowbrook campus when school was over. A dream for most of us who have been on this conversation. Share, nothing we never want to leave the campus when school was over. Our guest was one of the most multi-talented, only one of the man I know as multi-talented athlete who ever to represent Meadowbrook, because I think he represent Manning Cup team, the Sunlight Cup team, and the table tennis team. And he was a standout player in all of those teams. Not like him there, I just draw numbers. He was one of the top players on all of them teams there. Only one other man, as I said, would have given him a run for money, and that would have been Carlton Popcorn Christian, who also represented Meadowbrook in all 3 sports, and was also in the league athlete in all 3 sports, football, cricket, and table tennis. So maybe we have to do a poll on them there to see what the better athlete of the two. Our guest had the best address at Meadowbrook because his father was school caretaker and his mother was a member of the supporting staff at Meadowbrook, and they all live on Meadowbrook campus. So during these conversations tonight, we have to talk about Mr. Senior, Jukey, as we affectionately call him, and Mrs. Senior.
The original.
Well known by all of us who went to Meadowbrook in the 1970s. But without further ado, Meadowbrook members, welcome Christopher Bye-bye Senior to the conversation. Introduce yourself, Bye-bye. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Glester. It's just a joy to be on this platform, as this platform represents a very critical part of my life and the friends that I made at the great Meadowbrook High School. Yeah, as was said by our host, I am the only one who went to school at home and went to home at school. So let me pause there.
I love that.
So I don't take away any of our host thunder. Over to you, Sir Glester. And I am so happy to be here with my brethren, Martin Brown,
yes, sir.
who has been my lifetime brethren. from that time until now. And you're talking about coping over 50 years,
Yes.
close
Yes,
in that
sir.
region. So
Yeah.
we
Yes, sir.
really give thanks for this platform. And I'm excited to be here. Go ahead, Mr. Host. I am at your command, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. I appreciate that. Martin, reintroduce back yourself, my brother.
Well, thank you again, sir, for having me on again. Um, as I was last night with you. I'm honored to be here today with the guest today. Uh, this man here has been like a friend, as a friend to me, as a brother to me, and you know, for all these years. And my name, oh, I should introduce myself, Martin Brown. And just glad to be here and just want to get into it, boy, because there's so much meat to get into here,
Yes.
you know, so much meat,
Yeah, man, there's so
you
much
know.
questions
So
to ask bye-bye tonight, yeah, Martin. You're right about that.
yes, sir, yes,
We could
sir.
get tonight. We could get tonight. So bye-bye. Bye now, you know. So the first question I ask everybody who come on the platform, you know. Did you choose Meadowbrook or Meadowbrook chose you?
Well, let me give you my story and then you can tell me either one. Yes, I would at the top end say Meadowbrook chose me. Why I said that is because I remember on the morning when the newspaper, I think it was a Sunday newspaper, was bought. Because after you do your common entrance, the only way you knew what was going on or where you were placed is by having gone onto this platform, which was Gleaner. There was no laptop or no desktop or
Internet.
no WhatsApp. Internet.
Mhm.
No, the internet was the paper. So all the mothers and fathers and young ones would gather around a Gleaner on that Sunday morning and see where you were placed. Now, my memory serves me right. I did the traditional thing. I think I chosen KC and Calabar as the two schools that I would want to go to. And I remember being on that veranda at that house that we lived on campus and searching through for KC, seeing all of my brethren, them name, including Christopher Hunt, Wagga Hunt, youngest brother.
Mm-hmm.
His name was pretty dear at KC because he had a KC tradition with his big brothers. Them looked through Calabar, did not see anything, no name, no Christopher Senior at Calabar. So of course, by this time now, Hunty, we used to call him Wayne or Hunty,
Yeah.
was over my side because he lived in front of Meadowbrook United Church, which is on Flemington Drive. And everybody remembers that was just around the corner. He could have gone from the school campus over to the church and then on to Flemington Drive. So he was over in a flash. By that time, tears were now flowing down my cheek because I could not find my name. I just don't know what was going on. So he came over and said, "What happened to you?" "Oh, you mean I not see my name? I not see my name." He said, "You know, look good, man. Look under Meadowbrook." I'm say, "What?" I say, "Yes, man, look under Meadowbrook." I'm go, I'm say, "See your name there?" Man, I could have started running around the school. So to answer the question, long story short, Meadowbrook chose me because that was not in the two schools that I had represented or I had put on for the choices for the common entrance. So from day one, Meadowbrook chose me, and that was just the beginning. As we go along, I'll tell you some other confirmation.
So let me ask you something. So even though you live on the campus, attending Meadowbrook never crossed your mind at all?
Not at all, because from I went to what we would consider to be the great St. Richard's Primary.
Yes, the great
And
indeed. Yes, yeah.
yes, man, with a lady named Sister Cobrini
Yeah.
that put it on. And she was known to be a very tender-hearted sister, but very, very waspy when it came onto that leather strap. And because of the community that St. Richard's was in, she had no hesitation in putting it on these boys, especially when we were late coming from off the football field when it was lunchtime, because we're always playing football, you know. And so that was the school that I attended and I was coming from. So for me, it was a next step to go to one of those other schools because I was among some guys who played football. And boy, I was looking forward to that kind of move, you know? So, yeah, let me pause it with your son now.
No, man, I just say everybody at August St. Richards want to go either KC or Calabar. Your friend them.
Yes, man. That was the crew.
Yeah.
You know, so.
At that time.
But.
So Meadowbrook actually
man,
chose you then. That Meadowbrook chose you. That you answer that question, the fear, yeah.
Yes, man. Right up, straight up.
Yeah.
Right up, straight up.
By the way, bye-bye. Where you get the nickname from? Bye-bye.
When I used to go basic school, Oliver Basic School, which was on Red Hills Road, close to Whitehall Avenue.
Yeah.
I was told that I was a little fast runner. So the story goes that whenever I'd give people skip and run past them, as I get to them, I'd just tell them, and just shoot past them. And no matter what I did, that name just stuck with me.
With you.
Yeah, man, coming straight up.
I see you mentioned that, I forget about that, the exploit that, he was a more than a competent athlete, Martin. You remember that?
Yes, man. Run in a Sanders he was in, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Miss McLean, I'm not sure of that. Yes.
Sanders. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Greenhouse, yeah.
So you're second for Meadowbrook then, because Meadowbrook chose you and you come to Meadowbrook now. So when you start coming to school, how you felt being someone who lived on the campus and I come to Meadowbrook? What was that feeling like?
Well, it was a proud feeling because for my parents, Mommy and Daddy, for Dukey and Mrs. Senior, as they were affectionately called, this was a great accomplishment for their wash belly. You know, the fact that I passed common entrance.
Yeah.
And I'm sure for them, they were happy that I was under their nose. Yeah. So if I turned left, they knew. If I turned right, they knew. And they could watch over all of my activities. And also, they could look at the friends that chose me or I chose them. And as you would all remember, my father was a sportsman, a very serious sportsman.
No, you have to tell about that, Baba. I didn't know that. I did not know that.
I didn't know that,
No.
I didn't know that, brother.
No, that may I say.
All right.
To talk about that.
Great, okay?
Yes, man. Well, a lot of people may not have known, but Dukey used to live in St. Elizabeth. And he was from a district called Postum, close to Monroe. And he worked at Monroe College in the same capacity during those times. And he was known to be, he worked in the sports area. He wasn't a caretaker there, but he worked in the sports area.
Department. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, in the sports area, in that he prepared the cricket pitch primarily and supported the cricketers more than anything else. And it was said that when he rolled a cricket pitch, depending on what he want the result to be, he had a way of being able to roll it in that regard. So if it was a pitch to be fast, then he would be rolling it to the advantage of Monroe, where the fast bowlers would have gotten wicket and so on. And it's also said that in his district, he was a champion fighter because he was a boxer, you know, at the local level. And I remember him telling me the story that one day they had 2 or 3 other champions from some other districts. And the one who beat up the other 2 from the 3 districts came to challenge him. And at some point of the challenge, that person found himself head over into a well, just waiting for Daddy to release his feet for him to drop in. And then ball out, I said, no, and then pull him up. And of course, those days were gentlemen days and shake hands and everything. And he was known to be the champion boxer of his village. And I think it's out of that he really aspired and got to be an avid sportsman in terms of loving sports, you know, but primarily boxing was his talent. And he was had a mean off break spins.
Yeah,
you know?
I know him was more than a competent cricketer. Douglas Cook came and talk about him, say him didn't make sure Dougie get on the cricket team because him didn't know that Dougie could have bat. Yeah.
There you go.
I didn't know your father was such a competent sportsman, no, bye-bye. So where him get the nickname from, Dukey?
Oh, no, me don't know that one yet, you know. That's what I need to research. I need to ask my big sister, the matriarch of the family right now, and ask her if she can recall where Daddy got that name from, Dukey. But he was known all over as Dukey, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys heard about this one, but I remember as a child, part of my responsibility was to open up school and lock school. Martin, remember that part there.
I never
But
know that.
No.
yeah, man, that was part of my responsibility, man. I had to know the bunch of keys for every block. And although I wasn't supposed to guess them, I was supposed to just pick them up
Yes,
and
vaguely
know
I
which one from
remember
which
it, you
side.
know.
So you're going
Vaguely,
to
it is coming into memory.
yeah, the classroom
Yeah,
door then
man.
bye-bye.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Especially that 3-story block where we had 1A, 2A, and 3A. 3A to
Yeah.
to first, fifth, second, right. And so I didn't open everything, but there was a certain block that was my responsibility. But sometime one morning when Daddy was opening up the administrative block, that was where Mr. Top area was.
Yeah.
He went up the staircase and noticed that the door was slightly ajar. And he entered into the office area and saw a man. The man had a gun. That is the society take him on. And he had him wrestling somewhat and this and that. And the story goes that the man realized he couldn't beat that. So he hold him gun and jumped down the staircase and basically ran away. You know?
And this was while you were at Meadowbrook, bye-bye.
Yes, this was while I was at Meadowbrook.
Yeah, I never knew that before that. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man, because I am there from an early age, from a little boy, little baby, as a matter of fact. So that would have been, as I said at the beginning of the program, I was home at school and school at home, so yeah.
And you talk about older brothers and sisters, or is how much town it was?
All right, and between mommy and daddy, there was 4. There's 4, yeah. By daddy, I still counting.
Oh, you don't count.
Last count from what the older ones told me was about 12 or somewhere there.
Martin, I don't think Baba have to search him get the nickname at all. No. You think
Yeah,
no. But Dukey was well loved. Bye-bye.
Well loved, man. Well loved.
Well loved by it was, yeah.
What I remember about Dukey, is Dukey was a very strong man, He was very strong. When I was, coming through, I remember him, man, and Dukey always, just some very fun memories I have of the Honorable Dukey.
Yeah, man. And Baba, I get the story. You have to finish up, Martin. Sorry.
And how he impacted even just the friendship with me and Chris have after a while and thing. And I remember even long after Meadowbrook when I went back to Jamaica once, Chris carried me to his house. You remember, Chris? I don't know if you remember, it was in Mandeville there. They were staying in somewhere close in Mandeville there. A house that yes, and you carry me, and he was on the decline then, But that's where that's the last time I saw your mom and him,
Right, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So,
man,
much
this
respect
is
to
in
that.
God. Yeah, man, this is in Godfrey lands in Mandeville. Yeah. Because they had now moved from Kingston, and both of them were staying with us. And this was in transit before they went up to a place called Belfield because we had a shop up there. And they decided that's what they wanted to do, being in their retirement age. So they moved up to the shop, and it was during the time up there, shortly afterwards, that Daddy was diagnosed with prostate cancer. So he, as you said, Martin, he was on the decline, and he spent probably about 2 or 3 years there. And little by little, he started deteriorating because the story is that when the diagnosis was given to him, because my big brother John was there with him, he said to the doctor, "All right, boss, thank you for the information." Rolled up him star, put them back in pocket and said, "Come, John. because his decision was that he wasn't doing any surgery or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just decided that was the time. And he lived out the rest of his life with mommy up there. And he passed while he was up there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I can say he died a happy man.
Yeah.
Very painful way to go, but he really was at the point in his life where he felt fulfilled. He had made a decision and surrendered his life to God and decided to start live a certain way. Because anybody who went to Meadowbrook, remember that Dukey was a man that after he finished him rounds, he would exit to a place on Red Hills Road where himself and his friends would meet up. And they would have a round table talk.
A liquid celebration. A liquid
celebration.
Yes.
And as a youngster, I remember that once he left that appointment, he would ride his bicycle and came home. And my duty was to make sure once he got in and parked up, to escort him from his parking area to his favorite part of the chair in the dining room. And mommy would always have his dinner warmed up and ready for him. And no matter what the circumstance and situation was, when he got down to the fleshy part of the breast that had a little grizzle on it, he would say, "Bye-bye, come here, man." And that was reserved for me. So I have very, very fond memories of my dad and just how he really loved me and loved my friends and actually lived his life in such a fulsome way, you know?
Yeah, him.
So, yeah.
Frank Sinatra that proud of him song. Him that proud of I did it my way. I him that
my way.
Yeah.
My way.
That boy. Yeah, man. Yes. Yeah. And I remember him walk on the campus with a sense of purpose. I know I understand why he was a sportsman, he was a boxer. Him never take no prayers at all or no check. Him never fear nobody. Never fear nobody. Never fear nobody at all. And Mrs. Senior always have a smile on her face. I never remember seeing your mother without a smile on her face. Never.
Trust me.
Never.
Like, the reality is that she was a precious woman, a woman of enough prayer, plenty patience, and pure love. I remember when a brethren of mine, parents had, stepfather had turned him out and he had nowhere to go. When mommy found out, she just said to me, "Chris, shuffle up." And that brethren spent the next couple of weeks with me at our little house until things could be sorted out at his house and he could return. Mm-hmm. That was the kind of heart that mommy had.
Wow.
You know? And
wow.
He would take in any of our nieces, especially from the country, and that would be the transition house into a job or a career in Kingston. Mm-hmm. So he had that kind of heart for people, especially for children. Yeah. So, yeah, man, blessed memory.
Yeah, man, your mother and father were special, Baba. I'm glad we can talk about them, and we have real good fun memories of both of them. So yeah, man. So you come to Meadowbrook now, Baba, and you come in a first farm, and you come what class? You remember what some of the people in your class just at Meadowbrook?
Yeah, man. I remember Patrick Rochester. Troublemaker. Oh boy.
Hold on, Baba. Were you in 1A BRC?
I was in 1A.
1A, man. The man did a 1A in the land.
No, man, forget that out of the way, because is that the what going, Baba?
Yeah, I was in the 8th grade.
He was with the elite crew.
Yeah.
We were down by the toilet area. Down at 1C.
Indeed. Yeah, man. I remember Janice. I can't remember Janice's surname at the time, but she came. Bleach, yes.
Yeah, Janice
she was at
St.
Richard with me.
Yeah, that's a Christian younger sister. Yes.
Yes, she was also at St. Richard's with me. She came over in 1A. I remember Douglas Crooks.
Dougie in my ear. Right. Dougie in a year. Dougie is in my ear. After you probably remember Dougie from before. Douglas and me start the same year, bye-bye.
Okay, yes. There's another Douglas. Lord, I'm gonna forget Douglas' name now. Him used to live off Meadowbrook Avenue. He used to drive his mother car up and down our driveway up on the road. It's so come to me. But the girls now, you have Magishi. Yeah,
Andrea Magishi.
Andrea. Yeah, man. Yeah, Jacqueline Lopez. You had Jacqueline Basco, Jacqueline Francis. Lesman Cray was in my 1 year too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I look on him right now. I look on the yearbook. Lesman Cray, Patrick Curtis, yes.
Yeah. Patrick Curtis on Liverpool radios there. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Douglas Dyer, you talk about Douglas Dyer.
Yes,
Dyer.
man. Dougie Dyer. I'm a bigger brother.
Yeah.
Man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. All of them guys, man. And Dwight and David Mendes, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Dwight and David Mendes. I go close to them especially towards Fifth Farm here and so on.
Sharon Demakala was in your class?
So Sharon in my class? Yes, because our younger sister was below us.
Yeah, she was in my class. Bridget Cassie. She was in my class. Yeah, man. So, let me ask you something, Bye-bye, because were you aware, I'm going to forget this out of the way early, that 1A and 1B is different than 1C, as Martin said?
What I was aware of is I remember in 1A, one morning I came upstairs, and as I got to the classroom, I saw Lesman Cray, like him was crying. So I asked him, what happened to him? Him said one of the guys them from 1B beat him up. I said, what?
1B or 1C?
Where was Scott? Where was something that Scott?
Robert Scott.
Where was
1C. No, man, I want to read that, man. That is one of us. Right there.
Unless one Creamy, a creamy way attack, right? The great creamy.
The original creamy, man.
The original creamy. Remember creamy, the little bit and short like me.
Yeah.
So I say, and I'm showing him. I'm going to call him up to my 1A, right near the corridor there, so. I'm saying, boss, them time, of course, my vice fine. And in the time from them time, look up and say, oh, you talk, so you, man, and whatever. So you beat up my friend. Him say, yeah, man, what you can do about it? I said, no, do it again, and push me. And I was doing kayakish in Kayakan.
Yes, remember that.
Man. Put it on for them, lads, but put it on proper. So roundhouse and some back kick and thing and the tall, I may reach up in his face. When I'm done with him, I go back down and 1C. And I think my little connection start from this for 1C and 1B, because man start talk about it and thing. So I, in my mind, never see them as no inferior or nothing like that. We just don't see them in our class where there's some of them, they look at them bad. But because me know where I come from, I used to live at Red Hills Road. The par with one or two guys used to pass through the school. I never have no fear of no bad man, and then daddy did up on campus.
And if you get them roundhouse kick that, yeah.
No, man, remember, man.
You remember that?
I remember that very vividly. No, I don't remember the fight.
Yeah.
But I remember Bye-bye did wicked in a karate, man. It's like everything the man touched turned to goal, you know. Me I tell you now.
No, man, that's more reputation. Because if Baba is small, come like you never fear no one at all.
Man, the man that beat up man with karate, man. Oh, you mean, man?
Yeah.
yeah, interesting.
So what's some of the teacher them you remember, Baba?
First one is Panna.
The great.
Can't forget her.
The great.
Panna the great, man, because when she strolled the community, everybody knew she was coming. And she had such a dignity about herself, that you fear her, but you feel comfortable when she's around, because nobody can come on campus and trouble none of it. That's the kind of mindset I had. And because remember now, my parents worked for the school. So she and a lot of the other teachers may have had a special eye out for me because they know my circumstance and so on. And as far as I can recall, I really didn't give anybody trouble. And then me and Mr. Chin was friend because Daddy and Mr. Chin was friend also. One of the teachers I remember fondly was Mr. Anna. And that was because of the song, Your Honor, I was inside the closet, minding I own business, Your Honor. It was a complete stranger, just causing disturbances.
Yeah.
It was a white man, Baba, if I remember right.
Yes, he was man, he was a white man. Good guy though.
Yeah, when you used to teach again, Baba?
Geography.
Yes, I remember him. I just call him name, Baba. I remember to right.
Yeah,
right.
Man, that was one of my favorite subjects because the way he bring it across, trust me, it made me learn. But there were some other teachers now. A certain English teacher, Martin, help me remember. Miss Boyne. I try to remember her name. She came closer to like 4th, 5th form. I can't remember her name. But she was a little bit on my side, because me wasn't doing no work. I was a player sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. Them way there. Who else I remember as teachers now? Oh, Mrs. Arboyne.
Miss Earboy, yes, she was my art teacher. Yes.
Yes, man.
She married and became Mrs. Lysett afterwards. Yes. I know. I hear she went back to the school to teach recently.
That's nice. That's very nice. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I remember Mr. Gooden. Yeah, man. Because again, one of the other friend them that too. Which are chemistry teacher. And she had 2 daughters.
Oh, Miss Headlam.
Miss Headlam, man. Mrs. Headlam. Good lady, but trust me. When I finish the year in chemistry, I don't know what happened inside there. So I know some numbers and letters come together. That's about it. Because again, I should confess that I was a shocking idler. Throughout from 1st to about 5th form. Which other teachers were there that I can't recall? But those were the teachers that maybe had given me an impression on my mind and worked with me. And the other teachers, of course, I can't remember a lot of their faces, but if I see back the names and so on, I remember them. But those are the ones that stood out, for me at that time.
Then, I have a special relationship with Mr. Tarp, like Martin was on a first name basis.
Well, the story goes that somewhere in the region of about 3rd form, third form over there, may have been 2nd form. I remember the closing of one of the terms where guys were just running around and just giving themselves trouble. And I don't remember who and I, but some guys from one year got onto a youth named Dave, what's his surname? But a pretty sister, Stewart.
Oh, Dave Stewart, yes.
Yeah.
And Sister Michelle in my ear, yes.
Michelle, yeah. And we held on to him. Like was going to bomb him. We just never did.
Yeah.
We never did. And we just low him and go on. But he reported to Mr. Top that we did bomb him, actually. But we never did bomb him. And Mr. Top called me to enter the dojo. Now,
I love it.
This dojo was reserved for people like Ratigan.
Roll up Ratigan. Yeah.
Ratigan. Right? And during assembly, Ratigan. You wait for that part of the Monday morning assembly.
Yeah, man.
If that name wasn't called, it would not have been the normal assembly.
And they assembly roar when the name called, man.
Oh, yes, man. There would be a roar of people, And so as I mounted those stairs and entered the dojo or the pre-dojo room, where one lady by the name of Mrs. Smith dwelled.
Andre, your mother, right?
Andrea,
Oh
she
yeah.
had a
Oh
sister in
yeah.
your class, bye.
Yeah.
Yes, Andrea,
Yeah, man.
you had a sister. Alison, I think her name is Alison.
Allison, yes.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
was three of them, the older Allison and then the
A
younger.
younger one, Derek.
Um,
Derek was the younger one. Yeah,
Derek.
yeah.
Yeah, Derek was the FC, I believe, some years ago for UTech
Yeah.
when we were up that side.
Yeah.
So yes, so when I entered that arena, Mr. Thorpe was now advised by Mrs. Smith that Mr. Senior was there. And she would now look at me, not through the glasses, but over the glasses with certain amount of disappointment because Mr. and Mrs. Senior's boy should not be in that dojo. So I remember as I pushed the door and entered the office, I was particularly taken by the curtains because that office had the capacity to transform into a very dark dungeon when those heavy curtains were drawn. And as I entered, he, of course, a man from Barbados, well dressed, and would be in his suit at all time, and his tie, very well put together. He would now say, "Young senior, what are you doing in my office?"
Drop him notes, bye. Mr. Senior.
What is it that you have done? I said, "Sir, they have accused me, but it's not true. We attempted, but we did not." So, well, you should not have attempted, young senior. And he took off his jacket. And he pointed up towards a section of the wall that had various lengths and sizes of a cane. And he says, "Well, Mr. Senior, I will have to put on 3 to remind you of the principles of this great school."
Well, hold on a minute there. Hold on there. Well, let me just run downstairs and get some popcorn, because this is like a movie. Me never know all of these details. I never know all of these. I never know that you have conversation and all of them things. You never have no conversation with me. You understand? Oh my.
I believe he wanted to make sure that I was only a one-time visitor.
Yeah.
Yes, man.
So he said,
membership has its privileges, man. I mean, what can I tell you?
So he said, "Young senior, bend over and place your hands on that chair." And he went for a particular instrument chosen from among what appeared to be some 12 or 18.
Yeah, man. A basket of kids.
Yes, man. And then before he began the administration work on the rear end of my anatomy, he flexed the cane to ensure that there was no breakage or weakness thereof.
You might bend it. You might whip it up, Martin, and warm it up, yes.
And he flexed his shoulders somewhat. And then when he put on the first one, I said, "Whoa, this thing is hotter than I had anticipated." So I, of course, tough it out because, you're a man, you're a youth and man. Then he proceeded quickly put on the second one. And to my great surprise, I realized that the man must have been a sportsman. Because where the second one was placed was the exact place where the first one was put on.
Lance, Lance, you remember when me tell you said Tarp was a marksman?
Yeah, man,
Man, the same spot all the time,
Yeah, man. I can attest to that. The same spot, man, get over and over, bye. Yes.
You understand me? So when the second one was applied, I had to rise up from the chair and do a little walk. And I remembered having to pull in my nose. I was hoping that he didn't think I was mocking him.
Yeah.
But I was trying to hold back the tears. So I got a little reprieve for about 35 seconds. Then I was told to return to my former position. And the third one was moved from my posterior to my heart. And I felt a pain in my soul. So
oh my goodness.
I think that he was sending a very strong message to say, if you come here again, then perhaps you might not survive. So after getting up from the third one, he gave me a minute or two to compose myself. And knowing that Mrs. Smith was out there, and as a youngster, you didn't want to see Mrs. Smith, looking at you and you're looking like you're crying. He gave me a minute or two, and I put myself together, and he said, Mr. Senior, make sure I never see you like this in this position again. And I held that warning, and I never visited his office again for anything like that. Needless to say, as I exited that dojo, because it was now moving into a dojo like a karate application, and saw Miss Smith, she was looking at me. She looked across at me again over the glasses, and I held my head straight. And when I got outside of her office, of course, the staircase had two landings, top one and the middle one, and then it entered and exited. I've never told anybody this, but I did not walk down those stairs. I was on my bottom brushing down to see if I could get rid of the pain. So I brushed down the stairs. By the time I was at the end of the staircase, I had composed myself and was now back in the school's population. But the story didn't end there. Some way, somehow, my father was given the information that I was falsely accused and went to visit Mr. Thorpe. I don't know if he knew how much strokes I had received, but less than some half an hour afterwards, investigations revealed that Dave Stewart had bombed 3 persons. So right away, through whatever medium, the information was brought upstairs to Warren Thorpe. And Mr. Thorpe put on 6 on him.
6 him get?
So when 6 him get, I was told, because he did 3 boys after reporting that I did bomb him. Those days bombing could be considered to be very dangerous because it could hurt your back or your tailbone. And when he came back up to the classroom area, he was bawling, boss. He couldn't help it. So I just looked at him and said nothing and moved on, But Warren Thorpe, man, a great man of stature and a great marksman, as Martin said, and a man who had the capacity to turn up at some spots when nobody expected him. And I'm sure he had some allies on the ground that would give him pertinent information as to how and where and what was going on, But good man, very good headmaster, really, really good headmaster as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it looked like him have a spy team at work, the CIA at work, at the sky. He could have a show for all of a sudden for true, bye-bye. That is true.
Yes, man.
That is true. That's true. But let me ask you something, bye-bye, because as I said earlier in the introduction, you were such an excellent athlete all around. Anything you touch, you could have, it's like you turn to goal. You came to Meadowbrook as an excellent athlete, or you acquired that skill while at Meadowbrook?
Well, at St. Richard's, because of the guys that I moved with, like Christopher Hunt, Mark Stafford, and them guys there, they were very good athletes, both in terms of running and football. And they too also represented KC when they both went to KC.
Yeah.
So we were very competitive at St. Richard's, and that, I believe, added to my capacity to learn the various sports. But what was great for me, as I said, I grew up at Meadowbrook. So because of Daddy's love for sports, I was exposed to any and everything that was played there. So I played badminton pretty well. I played basketball, I played tennis, I played table tennis, and of course did tracks. But what remains very vivid for me is basically 2 things. Whenever there is a big match at stadium, because Daddy knew the persons who were in charge or had certain functions at the stadium. When it's a big match, we would get in, and most times free. So when Pele came down, I was able to watch Pele play.
Okay.
And some of the big matches that came to Jamaica, he would make sure to carry me. Sometimes I was on his shoulders. And I remember when table tennis came around, I had two older brothers that lived with me for a period. And I could not reach the table tennis board, and he put me on a chair. And Daddy, being the ace carpenter that he was, made me my first table tennis racket. And I would play with my brothers and challenge them. They would always beat me up. I had a very soft heart and very quick eyes. Whenever I got beaten, I would cry. So it instilled in me a desire to win. And so Daddy would make sure I started out on the chair. Then I went to 3 drinks crate, then 2 drinks crate, then 1 drinks crate, because I was able to reach the board. Then I was flat. And when it was time for school to choose persons to represent them in table tennis, I got the opportunity to try out. And that is where Carlton, Christian, and I crossed paths. And life would have it that we did pretty well in table tennis in the other schools. We even, one time, I think Seabar must have beat us like 4-3 or something like that. But we had some good guys, myself and Carlton Christian. And we decided that since we were doing so well, we would go and enter the Jamaican all-round competition. And that was held at Excelsior High School with guys like Roger Biles and
David
Marshall and those guys. And so Carlton and I entered, and we entered the under-13 doubles tournament, and we won. I think it was 1976.
I didn't know that. There. I didn't know that, Baba. I did not know that at all. So,
all of this is brand new to me.
Yeah.
My trophies are right here, so now my sister kept them most of the time, but they're somewhere around here at her house. Yeah. And I remember in the open part, which is now, I've done the 13 and the 16 and so on. I actually beat this guy named McIntosh, which was one of the seeded guys.
Yeah, I remember his name. You forget his first name, Baba. I know exactly what
Andre, I think it was.
Yeah,
it was Andre McIntosh. Yeah, and when I remember when I finished that match, the man threw him racket because he was so vexed.
Yeah, in the vexed, so beat him.
Yeah, this guy named Wayne Clark and Daniels from C-Bar. Wayne Clark used to live around Chevy Chase in Havendale. And we're there like most Saturdays. And you go there from 8 o'clock in the morning, 4, 5 o'clock, guys were still there from different schools. And you got to challenge them and build your skills, hone your skills there. And so table tennis became something of a joy for me because Carlton, Christian, and myself were always challenging each other. Yeah. And so those skills came about, table tennis, basketball. And then because of Daddy's love of cricket, I also loved cricket and I played Colts. I remember, I think probably one of my best scores was I got 3 wickets for 3 runs. And I remember bowling a very mean leg break.
Yeah, man, I remember that.
Yes, man. Yes, man. I remember with you and myself on the field, lads. I remember a particular guy. I remember Stephen Fire Grier.
Yes, in the night class, Stephen Grier. Yes. Fire man. Indeed, yes.
Yes, man. I was a pace bowler, short run up, but when him let go the ball, man, things happen.
Yeah, man. I
remember this guy from Stats, because Stats had a good team at one stage. When I bowled my leg break, or leg spin, and it was just outside of the leg stump, he left it alone, and it had a mean cutting, and it licked out him stumps, man. Man stayed there for about a minute. I wonder what.
Yeah.
So that I remember.
Okay.
And
lovely. I love that argument. I have never, Christopher, believe me, Brethren, never. No, because you see, you, and I'm glad that you're showing a different side of Meadowbrook that I knew. I mean, I love Meadowbrook, and I still have great relationship with the people there, mainly from the ISCFN. But and other man like Gary Chin, the other day I shout out Robert Scott, and enough
Right.
man, But
Mm-hmm.
you are showing a type of love for Meadowbrook that an appreciation that I probably
Right.
never had, because I
Right.
always felt that it was like two Meadowbrook, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
I always felt that two Meadowbrook,
You were
and
right. You're right, Marty. There were two Meadowbrooks. I think that because I lived there, and perhaps because of my sportsmanship and capacity to our ability to play different sports, I was able to bridge some of that gap between the haves and the not haves, or the upper class and the middle or lower class, if people want to put it that way. Because what I saw was people, and I didn't even know that I was poor,
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
understand.
yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I really didn't feel that, because nobody ever disrespected me and called me out in terms of making me realize that I didn't have much, or my parents worked at a school or anything like that. It was really just youths growing up,
Yeah, you never feel
you
like
know.
say a man a go multi because he live on school campus and that never come up none at
I
all. No.
no, I didn't have
lovely,
that
lovely.
experience.
Yeah,
Never had
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah,
experience at
yeah,
all,
yeah.
So
No, but no, I see.
yeah.
So table tennis was the most your favorite sports in Baba. I didn't know that at all. I know you were an excellent table
Well,
tennis player and for go win a national. So when you enter the competition, you and Christian decide to enter it on your own or the school in town.
no, we entered it on our own, because after, I think it was 76. That's what is in my head. I remember, I think the same thing happened to Carlton. We had gotten a Jamaican call up,
Oh, for play for
should have
Jamaica
gone
table
to,
tennis team. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we should have gone. But I preferred football. I still prefer football, because my love for football was what was first.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I had again exposure because of my brothers. I had two older brothers who were twins. And I remember when they had even Meadowbrook United church matches down out in the country, they called me out to be goalkeeper, and I was shot. Man, I used to fly and take out some ball out of Pigeon and them place there. I don't know where those springs came from, but they really poured a lot into me, both in the table tennis and in football and cricket, because at the school, outside of school hours, activities was always happening. Duke had to run where people are for the school compound, whole heap of times.
You know that we talk about exactly when school over. Nobody no want to leave, bye. Nobody.
Nobody don't want to leave, Papa. Nobody want to leave.
Always
So as a result of that, I was always outside of regular school training. I represented Medieval in under 16 tournaments and so on in football.
Minor league, yeah.
Minor league, yeah. And President's Cup before it became minor league. And what really shot my football career, I believe, was that just in those times when I was getting on now and Wagga Hunt was coaching and so on, I had an injury on my two knees and I couldn't understand what was happening. And the doctors did some diagnosis on me and so on. And I can't never forget. They said that I had Osgood-Schlatter disease. Of course, I could hardly call the name of that something. I had to investigate. What was that? It was a weakness in the knees, where just below the knee cup, that little section there was swollen if too much pressure was applied to the knees. And I had to keep icing it and so on. And what the doctor said, it was like my growth spurt, how I was growing, like it was going too fast and the knees weren't catching up, or that section of the knees weren't catching up. That was the explanation I recall. So that really had held me back in somewhat, but got over that after a year of rest. And just at the time when I was called to play Major League now, the matches were now being held primarily on Sundays. And just about that time, I'm sure Martin would remember, 1979, I think it may have been, 78, I got saved from the ISCF week when David King, the
78 or 79, yeah.
Right. And when I was told by coach that 90% of the matches were on a Sunday, at that time, because of my faith, I decided that, listen, I had to choose to grow and to go God's way for now and see what was this Christian experience about. So I had backed away then from sports, and I recall when I played President's Cup and minor league, we would go into some areas where one time as some what they classified as uptown school or uptown community, we went Waterhouse, I think it was, and we are ball youth them, you know. When we say ball youth them I say, oh, where them man you come from? Because Wagga's training was always the hottest time of the day, anywhere between 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the day. That is when training took place.
My condition on the right, yeah.
Condition of, man, serious condition. So when we start run down people to the ground till all the fence are fall apart. And I remember specifically, I think it was Gary Stedman, yes, was the keeper at the time. And we were balling the youth them. You see, after lunchtime, some of the man just go around behind the keeper. And the man them say, yo, how we not do? And the man them lock the gate.
Wow.
And the man them send the message, boss. And man, we start, man, I keep the ball to the left side goalie and dive right, man. Because, you know, there's no say, we don't use them kind of tricks there and things.
No, them left the intimidation, they will come for play ball. No, bye-bye. That, yes.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
So, when I look at some of them things, I must say, no, I need to back away from this and just go on a different, thing. But one of the things I remember too, that this exposure at school was really very, very good for me. It really made me a rounded person in terms of sports. And the only thing I did wrong, if I had to do it over again, I did not balance sports with work. That's with schoolwork. I really, third time I'm saying that, I was a shocking idler. And are
you alone doing Baba? Let me just clarify. And are you alone? I just want to play.
Well, I don't want to even interject here because this is Baba's moment. You understand?
I know I have company, man. I know I have company.
No, yeah, Baba, I went there repeat fifth form. The first time I take O-level at 2 subjects, but pass.
Oh, you see.
Make us talk up the thing. The first time I took O-levels, I got one subject, art. I got 1 C, I must have 4 D's. You understand? Because let's talk. I remember, at the first attempt at O-levels, Mr. Honor threatened me. This was now the halfway through the third term. And the assignments from the first term, I never handed it over yet.
Yeah.
And I sat down for 1 whole week and 1 whole weekend and had to go through and do all those assignments. But I'm glad for the girl in my class, because they helped me out good. This I could have copied some of it. And some of it we do on my own and thing and was able to go forward and try, And as I say, got one and then repeated. And Martin would tell you, because Martin and I were in the same extra class that a certain English language and English the teacher taught. And I remember distinctly, and I think Martin may remember, she looking at both, I was just about 8 persons in the class. And Martin and I were there, and she said to us, she can't help us. She really can't help us.
Oh, dear. Oh, that's a good, Bridget. That can't go that far.
And so when I did it the second time, this was after repeating fifth form now. What did I get? I got geography and RE, religious studies, or religious education. Yeah. And God bless my mother. Mommy said, no, Chris, you have to get 2 more subjects. And she had to put them foot to the metal and sent me to Campion College. Yeah. And while at Campion College, for the first time, I was doing maths and English. And a dude named Mr. Smith opened my eyes to maths. I remember the name of this English lady that taught English language. She also did the same for English for me. And boy, mommy and daddy struggled and found the money for me to do the exam. and I got my maths and I got my English. And I felt like I was the best thing since sliced bread, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that helped to give a sort of good foundation and it convinced me that I wasn't done.
Mm-hmm.
All that was happening, I just was not applying myself.
You know, apply
you know?
yourself. Yeah.
No. But yeah. Those are the journey in that area.
You're in a good company, as I said. Me have to repeat Fit Farm before me.
Boy.
And I when all when me in a 6th farm, bye-bye, me never pass English yet. So repeat. Martin was 3 times we take English language, you know. Hear me I tell you?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, as I said, we didn't also want to play sports here, bye-bye. Me can attest to that. That's all me want to play because I'm a Meadowbrook. The sport, cricket and football. The table tennis, I look on and admire your popcorn skill on the table, sir. To the man, and I just listen to your story. That's the way you acquire the skill. Holy practice.
Popcorn had a table tennis board in yard in the basketball for ready, you know.
Yeah, I figured that.
Yeah, man. I remember particularly, he and I had started experimenting with some kind of loop. And when we go with a Mark 5 rubber and put on the loop of the ball, but the ball just started floating. And Popcorn used the ball out, don't touch it. And the man touched it just gone all over the place. Yeah, man. So use a loop that mash up people in a tournament, man.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that. The way I tell me say I'm Popcorn in the doubles competition for 1976 under 13. Under 13 you said it was, or under 16?
Yeah, man, under 13.
Yeah. No, that's that. Because as a matter of fact, you mentioned that. I remember Jan Popcorn I play Colts. Because I was so young, up to 4th, 5th farm. I remember that too, Baba. Yeah. That I remember too.
Well, I remember Manning Cup and what's the name of my coach, man? The coach in Brown,
Devon Jeffrey.
Yeah. Remember the first time I played the first match, he put me play at right back. I mean, I know if they would have a weak defense or something, but I forward didn't want to play, but he put me at right back. So I say, okay, boss. Where I was playing was a Jonestown on stadium turf. I play right back and I'm a dangerous left winger. And just inside of the locker room when we were before we go out on the field, he said to me, young senior, I know the talk. Make sure the first tackle you tackle him, you know. He must feel somebody today. So I say, yes, coach. When he reach out on the turf, I go out. Him look past and call to me again, say, young senior, remember me? I say, yes, coach. And I tell you, say, the first ball the man get and start come towards, I say, pick up the ball and turn.
You put it down on him.
Me put it on, man. But we don't know if the man did almost reach a little bit between half line and the 18 yard. But over put it on, you hear it loud in a stadium. But make sure I lick the ball too.
Yeah.
When the man get up, turn and look upon me, I'm just look upon him with death in my eye. Man, I switch him out, man.
Okay,
every time.
Oh, yeah, sir.
What you talking about, man? But put it on, man. Trust me. Yeah, but sports was a great part of the life of Meadowbrook.
Yeah,
man. Really was impactful and it teaches something more life.
I'm going to think sports, them underrate sports for some people, bye-bye. I mean, I'm glad my parents did allow me to play sports. Because me just the sports give feedback in our life and nothing else give. Guys,
that's right.
You see I play sports, you get immediate feedback, you know. Immediate, bye-bye. You make the adjustment right away. You know, wait for the exam. On the playing field, I get the feedback. That's the beauty with sports.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad me to play sports. I'm going to play a whole heap of sports from Calbeck Avenue and I come to Meadowbrook. I never have the privilege like you when I'm there at school whole day. And I'm going to play.
Right,
you have a team I play with. Yeah. So,
Great.
Yes, sir. Yes, Martin.
You had a girlfriend or anything like that at Meadowbrook? I mean, we being a jock as you were. You understand?
Boy.
Bye-bye. You can plead the fifth if you want, you know.
No, yes, Martin is a setup artist.
Yeah, man, I know.
Because you know the thing. You understand me? I know the thing go. So, yes, I did. I had, along the way, different forms and so on. Some young ladies that I really did like, and we were, as them said the other day, boyfriend and girlfriend. So yes, man, I had some young ladies that were close to me, and I was close to during those young years.
Oh, you want to give us any names that will be edited out? I just want to know.
For the sake of not being sued, I will not call any names.
Yeah, Baba,
Okay.
plead the fifth here. Plead the fifth. I agree with you.
Yes, I plead the fifth.
I agree with you, Baba. Plead the fifth. Plead the fifth.
No, I have a set of some questions where I know that probably Lance wouldn't understand. No, I remember once Meadowbrook had a concert, sir, and a certain dance group named Underworld was performing.
Mm-hmm.
And sir, I saw you do some incredible acts.
Some dance move, Martin.
Why? Yes, you know, basically because we both are ministers now. I have to be very careful.
Indeed.
Chris,
yes,
tell
Martin.
me now, how was Underworld created? Was it you who formed Underworld? Lance, did you know about Underworld?
You know, I just didn't talk about the movement Baba making I dancing. I remember the movement in a Martin, and I remember the group name.
You remember?
Yes.
Bad boy thing,
Yeah,
man.
I remember.
Bad boy shanking thing.
Yeah. I just bring it up, Martin. It come back in front of me. Yeah. But talk about that, Baba. Tell me how that did go.
Yeah, man. Underworld came out of a group of youngsters from KC, Meadowbrook, primarily. You had Mark Stafford, who was a track star at one stage and good football player. His younger brother, Colin Stafford. Of course, you had Hunty. Call him Christopher Hunt.
Yeah.
Call him Wayne. He was Waga's youngest brother. He had a Christopher Garwood.
Yeah, I remember him. Yes. He was living on Meadowbrook at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, man, down on Meadowbrook Avenue, further down towards Bottomfield on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
And you had Patrick Turlang.
Wow. Yes. Yeah. A man who probably a fun memory, a great relationship with Mr. Tapter. Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah, and we had a love for, because any party what keep between Meadowbrook and Avondale, them days that you don't have to be invited. And even if you were invitation, we crush it.
Yeah.
So we used to have this love for dancing and stuff. And one day we talk and say, hey, because them days at Queens High School, the girls' school, them used to have them concert and thing, and them they invite different persons to come and perform. So we got together and said, make us start do some moves and thing, and went over Hunty House and we start play some music and practice. And of course, Terry Lang was a man where out in the world and exposed to certain things, and him come and put in a move and we start practice some moves. And lo and behold, we realized that the moves them they look good. So we said, what? Make we start do some things and see if the crowd would appreciate us. And you remember Meadowbrook always have concerts.
Yeah, man, I've fit and them things. Yes.
I've fit and them things. And that particular first edition dance that we did, even up to now, remember some of the moves them. We created some moves there that was different from everybody else. I remember we got the gym equipment, the one that you used to have to, it had a sponge at the top and it looked like a box. And we're all dressed in full black and shades and stuff, and a particular song that spoke about Barnabas and them things there. And when the song come out and thing, and two man come on stage, and then we just go sound open the box and a man come out and we start do some wicked move. And boy, the place start tear up. So when we come off stage, I say, wow, boy, the people them really appreciate us. And from there, we started to get some opportunities to go to some different girls' school and dance and thing. But it was just about that time when ISAF had their ISAF week, and I surrendered my life and
you got
life change.
Martin, and the second thing now the man have to change around. First football, I know this is yo.
Yeah. So I remember after that surrender, going over to Hunt House, and the man just had the dance group going. I told them, boy, because of what had happened to me at the back out. And they were rehearsing. And they had this concert coming up. I'm going to say the man, I'm going to do some things, and my foot started to shiver, you know, man. Because I said to myself, if you do that, you could have do that with it. And because the things I'm still in my head, but I make sure I never say it. I want to look at me and say, hey, Baba, I see the movement in your head, them, and God, now go vex if you give you the move, them. I have to tell you, man, but give them 1 or 2 little move, man. Because my foot did feel, very free.
Yeah.
You know, because, you have travel with them, man, from way back. So I remember that was the crux for me. And from there, so basically I stepped back and everybody started doing them thing. But it didn't last too much longer after that, as people start to go their different ways and thing, you know.
By the way, Baba, you're still in touch with Auntie?
Yeah, man. Every now and then we shout out a couple. Not the last time, because since I've moved to Mandeville, he would only have this thing for Wagga. Yeah, and I remember even when I'm playing one of the times, man, so on. So every now and then we give a shout out, man. And because my older brother, one of the twins, lived there, and sometimes he would be around Hunty and his other bigger brother and so on. So we give him a shout out from time to time. I really owe him a shout. I owe him a shout at this time. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Martin, I like when you bring up that one. It sounds like you have something else to Baba do. I see you have a couple questions for Baba.
No.
You have to watch him in the land. You have to watch him. Him have the whole history, you know. But remember, me have something in Martin. So mind the questions, yeah.
All right. But
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
There are certain things that I will neither confirm nor deny. You know, understand? But it's funny though. The when Chris was going through his time, you know, and I started to go to ISCF and thing. You know, the badness that's still in me, you know, and the chuck badness thing, you know. I remember one time I tell Chris, say, yo, Chris, boy, you know, I have 2 metal down at the yard there in a star, and
2 machines.
We had 2 equipment, you know, 2 machines down at the yard, you know. I remember the name of one of them, man. It's the Farmer 501. You understand?
Indeed.
And let me tell you, man, Chris, most of the time I tell you, man, straight up, as a man from Meadowbrook still, I have much respect for the Virginia, man, because me could have draw him back in a car, but I didn't have a touch I bad this one time, you know, but it never fester, it never grew too bad, you know, it never grew too bad. And remember when this was now in 78, when Top tell me say, when Top tell me say me now come back at school, you know, and Miss Morris, another blessed soul, as you know, went to the same church that me and Baba went in a land.
You know, him call you, him tell me say you used to go to church, you know, Martin, Cracking, Glen Adkins.
Yes, he sent his number to me.
Yeah. He said I can call you. Yeah. Touch base with him. Yeah. You remember the Baba Cracking?
Yeah, man. From school and from Wicked Pacer, man. Yes, man.
The best.
What? Pepper.
Listen, at the best.
Pepper on the PS bowling, man.
Listen, him to me are the best fast bowler who never make a West Indies cricket team, and because he make a Meadowbrook. We can't say that. That's how good he was to me. Yeah. If he go a different school, Martin, He would have make West End
on the
stiff
team, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Without a doubt, man.
True.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, man.
Without
Wicked, man.
Yeah. So, but you realize I listen to the two and do, you know. If we never get called to the Lord, you know, it's one life with that different, you know. Probably even they're about that time, guys.
Truly. Well, me know say me personally, I would not exist if it wasn't for ISCF at Meadowbrook that really took my life to a different place. And remember what Gary said last night, you know, Gary Chin said, he might wonder which girl me come in at ISCF for. Man, there was a count down the time. They say, oh, when we gonna come back out the road with them.
All right.
Things, you know?
Yeah.
And Gary said last night, him said, boy, the only time him they actually believe it is when him see me I go to Thailand and them place there preach. Him say at them time them really believe that me really.
You're real, for real. That you're real. You're genuine.
Give up the lifestyle, yeah man.
Yeah.
So
you're right, Martin.
So let me ask you some more that, Bye. Were you equally surprised that Martin joined the ISF? The two one look like going to get closer once they keep, and so like about the same time the two one get called.
Yeah, man. Because hear this now. A certain gentleman by the name of Martin Meredith that came to Meadowbrook. Not
Third
from first
farm.
farm.
Yep.
Third farm, man.
Third or fourth farm. Yeah, man. Yes. Him used to live,
man.
The
Wicked
original
football.
sticky
Sticky man.
Yeah, man.
him used to live in Ireland there,
Yeah,
Martin. Him used to live in Ireland. I think him living in Canada now. Yes. I know exactly.
Yeah,
I
man.
just talked to him last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I saw him in Christmas when myself and Janet was there. My wife was there. I saw him, but him and Parable come check where I'm going to go and thing. I go on, him going all right. Because he used to live a cassava piece them time there. Yeah. Because one of the things I remembered is that when I got saved, as you said, Lance, when Martin said a while ago, that people said to him, so listen, I'm not sure if I'm going to survive it. A friend of ours, Marcia Lecky, I was told her brother said that is impossible. Baba, I can't get saved.
That's a court day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's impossible.
Baba, I did have a nickname in a star, in the group in a star. Anyway, but now I'm going to bring it up.
No, behind the paid one.
No, man, people have to go pay for them name, them, man. How are you?
I don't even remember that one. Right? But as Martin said, ISCF was the anchor. Yeah, because from the Lance, in terms of just that conversion, I don't know if you were aware, but you had a group of people like Stevenson Samuels and Andrew Keane and them guys, the Leighton Forrest, and of course Martin, and you had Nigel Wilkerson, you had Creary, and Brian, what's Brian last name, man?
Brian Allen.
Allen. Yeah. Some of the man them who during that time and the same kind of passion for the football and the cricket and the sports was like placed on this newfound faith in our Christian walk and so on. Because them time the lands, man, I go on bus. JOS bus. Remember JOS bus?
Yeah.
And we have preach on bus to the bus, man.
You mean you not go around like the Mormons them and a campaign?
Hey, they're going to give a true story.
A proselytize, right? As a call. You go ahead, Martin.
Proselytize. True story. So, me and Chris now, I think it was Arden ISCF where I go, right? And I know said the man you know used to leave Meadowbrook and love go preach for bus, you know. But them time my transition out of the lifestyle wasn't too clear yet. You understand? I was there, you know, and I was a team player, but out there, you know, the transition. And me and Chris go on the bus there. I was at 37, we stop in front.
Yeah, 37. Yeah.
Right. And we go halfway through, you know, for catch something for go up to Hope Road, for go Arden and thing. So the man, Baba, you know, me and him up on the bus and we are all on, you know, upon the thing, you know. I look around thing, and then me and the man beside me start do a thing like, I'm gonna say, Papa Jesus. The man you gonna start preach for the bus, Yeah, the man start go, side of me, And the man start to preach for the bus, All me I say, is that me I pray to God say him not ask me to sing a chorus. You understand? And in my preaching, me I support it to them. Me I say me quiet, amen,
Yeah,
amen.
man, yeah. You get the chorus,
don't want him, yes. But me don't want him turn to me now and say, and Brother Martin will now lead us in a chorus. Oh my goodness. It was the longest trip me up on a 37 bus. You ever tell you?
Oh gosh, I tell you. Interesting.
Very, very, very much so. But I hope and I pray that those people at Meadowbrook, you could have joined a number of groups. You could have joined the Key Club. Because me and Baba did also in a cadet,
Oh yeah.
And we joined cadet. You could have joined Key Club. And all of these various things for that would build the community vibe of the school. You know what I mean? But ISCF, Brethren, was one of the strongest organization at Meadowbrook during that time. You understand? And it really changed my life, because me remember when Mr. Tapa talked to me, I tell him, man, Tap take a ratchet off of me, and I say, and me if you go explain this now, my mother's school teacher, me if you go explain to me I carry ratchet to school. But it's a longer story. You remember, Lance? Because we defend ourselves. We are defending ourselves because we are walk through Francis Land. And we don't want nobody rush to it. You understand? So Mr. Tap now would not understand that Francis Land, Chris, was like close to Marvel there.
Between Protocol and you and then Bye-bye, there was an empty lot.
Yes, man, yes.
Well, Glendale is now, right in front of the sewer tank pan Mullines Road. Yes. Right?
Yes, man.
And we used to walk from Meadowbrook. Right. We used to walk from Meadowbrook, and man used to get rob over there and them thing then. Why me say me nah, and Chris knows that I don't a jungle them I come from, them region there. And me walk with my ratchet now and say, boy, me nah let that happen to me, But at that point in Meadowbrook, when Chris was exposed to the power of God, and the power of the Lord, it's the same thing with me, because I say, boy, look like me need some prayer, some deeper prayer in my life. And ISF was there, Because I really realize now, say, boy, me a waste, from first to fifth form, I did no work, brother. You understand? I realize now, say, it a get crucial. I get crucial.
But,
and so me thank ISF for that. Yeah.
But let me ask you something, because I want to know this. That's a clarification. When you have the machine that I work with, was only the ISF when we could have called on the book and the preacher, or it was pre-ISF?
No,
it was, oh boy.
It was pre-ISF.
Okay. Yeah.
Or early,
Or early into the journey.
Early into the journey. Okay. Yeah. So we couldn't brand that book on the preacher then.
No.
You remember that movie there? With the preacher?
Yes, man. Yes, man.
And for those who don't know, they must go Google it. I wonder where Martin and Baba and Jelly at that.
Indeed. Yeah.
That's why I'm exploring. Because I say, the man that say, they must see the Lord and they might behave like the man that book on the preacher. I say, okay, all right.
Yes, man. But I want to tell you that not Christopher, me was the one inveigling him, But you see, in hindsight, Chris, you could have told me, say, no, Bridget, me not really, I'll come down on your yard, You could have told me that, You could have did it.
No, Bridget. No, man, I'm a Bridget, man. I come to the yard. I never know what that was, so I want to discover it. But it did squeeze off nice still,
Yeah, all right.
Oh, boy.
Martin, all years me know you, I never know that until you come on the program. I say, right, Martin have access to the machine there. I never know that at all. No, how we are come over every day from Meadowbrook to Permacal to Ratted. Yeah. Yeah.
But you know the land say man used to bring machine come on Meadowbrook nowadays though, you know that?
Me hear about that, you know, and Gary talk about that. We never talk about it, Martin talk about it. I hear about that, man. I hear that a particular individual did carry a machine come to school. And yes, yeah. No, I know that. I don't know if I one individual or more than one. I one you know a Baba,
More than one.
Oh, really? I want me know of.
More than one.
I figure out.
Because I remember saying, in them time, the 1980 election was not far off, and the thing them that set up.
Yeah.
I have man who come from different communities that come to the school.
Yeah.
You understand? And as a result, a man have to go through this and that to reach a school and then go back here and there. So man used to carry them things quietly. Yeah. And man knows that some man knows it is there. Who knows is there to shut them out.
Yeah.
Man will open them bag and show a man or lift up him waist or him shirt and show a man. But some of the ones them was very rusty, boss.
Yeah.
Because you know where thing go.
And we are said we not criticize about it because it was a form of protection in the 1980s.
Man.
If a man come from certain community and him now that him can't go back home, him don't feel safe or go back home.
Yeah, man. Part of the reality.
Yeah, that was part of the reality of the 1980. 1980 election, the most violent election in Jamaica history, bye-bye. And to think about it, we'll live through that and we'll never realize we'll live through such a tumultuous time, you know. We'll live through it in a market.
Yeah.
We'll live through
it was a civil war. Basically, you know, it was a civil war. They're not going, you know.
Yeah, it was.
That's right.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
War.
But you know the great thing about Meadowbrook, sorry, bye-bye, was that it never came back campus, you know. It never come back campus at all, you know. And it's not like all different type of man from Reddit Road. I know Reddit Road is such a volatile place. Man from different. It never come on campus. The man never ask a man if I'm a red or a green or Meadowbrook at all. Never. A man come from different ends from Reddit Road. All over Jamaica. Come on campus and different thing completely. It was. That's what supposed to part. Yeah, it was. Bye-bye. It was. Let me ask you a question, bye-bye. Let me ask you a sports question because you were very successful at table tennis. Any other sport where the player with Meadowbrook were successful at in terms? I remember we reached the quarters finals in 1977, and I look back. You remember that finals? You remember we got to that finals? And why never play on that team? I'm almost certain that you would have been young enough. Why never play on a cold season?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know if the football it come or something else. Because you see, what happened to me is that I was so loved all the different sports that we just juggle around with almost everything.
Yeah, no, but discipline of stick with one. Yeah.
No, and I think that was a time when the football did that coming on my foot again and I look on certain things. And probably that was a time I was dealing with like the President's Cup or minor league or something because, you know, what was happening to me too. yes, I remember this. I was coming out of class too often. Football season. Can you allow Christopher Senior to go? He's
yeah.
Track season. Can you allow Christopher Senior to go? Cable tennis. Can you allow Christopher Senior? I was like, the teacher said, but this man is doing no work. This man is always leaving.
He's a professional school at league. Yes.
I know that was part of the thing, you know, and I'm not sure what may have happened, but why I tell you, interesting.
Yeah,
and I just go ahead.
No, you go ahead, man. Finish up. I have a question there.
Yeah, man. All right, and I just said if Meadowbrook chose me, I want to say yes again, because one of my memories of Meadowbrook is that the community, the people, I don't think I would have experienced that kind of richness, and call. That's what I see it as if I went to another school. I'm sure I've done sports and probably do very well and so on, but there was just some individuals and situations that made me feel like this was the right place to be.
And I agree with you, Baba, and I'm going to confirm it. I don't think you'd have played some different sport. I'm so good at some different sport if you're into another school. Because Meadowbrook was such a small school, like, and you were so good. Like, you could have walked in at any one of the team them without a problem. You see me I said to you? I thought that sports would have been so competitive and all with it. But this is the question I want to ask you though. When Meadowbrook started winning whole heap of trophy in the 80s, like after I left school, were you surprised that Meadowbrook started to win some trophy in the 1980s?
Boy, I was not surprised. I was very proud. And to be honest, I was not as in touch as I perhaps should have been and could have been. Because in the 80s, them time I was now really going out all out in the Christian faith and walk and thing. And as Martin told you, I had a very serious passion for work. And them times like early 79, 80, 81 and so on. I was like at crusades at McGregor Gully, Warwick Hillside, different spots at different places. Cause I remember them times they was very troubled times.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I was in different spots at Jamaica in terms of gospel. I was very much involved in my church because I was part of the Christian Education Committee while being Youth Fellowship President at one stage. And so I was really very absorbed into the early part of my Christian walk. And I think I may have gone just so far in that I just didn't even know what was going on around me sometimes. And then early 80s, that's when I got married. And within a year of getting married, I had my first child, son. And then 2 more after that. So I was so focused into building because remember now, I come from a poor background.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose that made me have to focus on trying to build a heritage and trying to build a financial pathway. So that when yes man, because as we shared earlier on, first time 1 subject, second time 2 subject, third time another 2, so it made it 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked at Separate during the initial time, but just before getting married and so on. And boy, God just opened some doors for me. You understand, Lance? Some doors, some ways that only Martin probably would have been able to explain some of them in terms of just opportunities and favors that came, and found myself in some places without a degree that was just only the grace of God. So I heard of some of the victories or some of the championships and so on, but I really wasn't following as closely as probably I could have, because I was really so focused on trying to build a foundation and get to some place where I believe that whatever mommy and daddy did, what they could do in building a heritage and giving me, sacrificing and giving me a start to be able to build on that so that my 3 would be able to have a foundation to start from, which was better than mine.
Yeah. No, man, big respect to your Baba, because I'm going to say this, because I'm going to say to Ratigan and him came on to, because when me come to school, me look up to Uno, because Uno superior athlete to me. And as I say, when we started winning, me build upon the shoulders a giant like you, Ratigan. But Uno play, me come and see Uno play. You see me, I say, me inspired and look on. That's why I could have write the introduction about you, Baba. I can remember all of the table tennis exploits, the cricket exploits, the football exploits. It's not like say I guess me if I guess. I mean I say, when Mr. Martin, when I look on Baba, I say when I get big, I want to play like them one day.
Wow. Thanks for that, bro. Thanks for that. Really
man. So I just said, no, you come to school as a little man, a little boy, and you see bigger man than you, and you say, right, you see, because only lay the foundation, people like you and Christian and Ratigan and Herbie and them, man, they come and see,
Yes,
I represent Meadowbrook, and you see me, I say, whenever I win them time, but the foundation was laid, that's a bye-bye. You see me, I say, we didn't just come and just start win just so. And other things happen because we get better coaching and all them things, and that was part of it, but the inspiration come from the man and me come and see, man, and then me inspire man who come after me, and it just take on a life of its own, so, yeah.
True. Very true.
Yeah,
Very
man.
true.
So me not gonna ever forget that, man. Me not gonna ever forget the man of me come what inspire me for play. You see me, I said to you.
Yeah. Respect for that. Papa.
Yeah, man. And me ask you a question, yeah. And this this might be the most embarrassing sorry. Well, remember, you can't look back on with a smile. I Meadowbrook. The most embarrassing thing ever happened to you. You can't look back on with a smile.
Wow. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. Did I? Nah, if I lost a match, I don't remember ever crying because I think I'd gotten over that. Can't remember. Well, the caning was embarrassing. Believe it or not, the caning was very embarrassing.
The one time you get the caning, yeah.
The one time I get it, man, it was very embarrassing. What was embarrassing? Oh yes, was my end of year exam result.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's about 4 subjects me getting over 50. I get some 7% in a Spanish.
You know,
like
all level you talk like end of term exam, yeah.
End of year exam, yeah. 7% and like in a Spanish and chemistry like at 11%. Them, because remember I wasn't doing no work, so them kind of scores that was embarrassing when I look on my card. Report card and thing. You know, I feel bad about that.
Yeah.
You know, but it was always covered by the other exploits. You know, that was embarrassing.
On the sports field, yeah.
Yeah. I really can't recall anything else that I could say.
Yeah. Well, I just the caning I want for a man to live on the campus.
Yeah, man. And anything will happen to me, you know, it go around the place quick.
Yeah, man.
Now, like some people come off campus and go, man.
No, go hide. Like a wildfire, yeah.
Yeah. But one of the things I remembered quite vividly, I think Martin may have left. Martin leave them time there? I'm not sure if they leave them time there, Martin. In a fifth farm, remember Robert Bogle?
Yeah.
Myself. I don't remember who else. Them time, you know, I remember up the fifth farm, but it's still short. And we used to keep up with soles.
Yeah,
nice, big
Afro,
soles.
yeah. The days of Afro, yeah.
Yeah, man, with the platform shoes and white socks. I remember we just put in a rose in the top pocket of our uniform. Yeah, man, sweet boy thing, man.
Yeah, man, me don't remember that version, so me must have gone.
Yeah, man. Oh, them times that this was supposed to first year people. Well, ladies, man.
Excuse. Proper ladies, man.
We all go a party and bigger than students were there with us. that will remain.
Paid wall thing that. Paid wall behind that wall. That have to be a pay-per-view. That man.
Oh boy, I tell you.
By the way, Baba, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Pekka, you remember when Pekka came and started selling Meadowbrook? What year he came? I put the question this way. What year you started, your parents started living at Meadowbrook campus? If you remember.
All right. If I came when I started school when I was 11, so that was 73, 11 from 73, would have been, it's about 64, 65, somewhere there, so.
Long time, yeah, okay. So that Meadowbrook in early days then, yeah.
Yeah, man. Me there Meadowbrook from when the former headmaster, I can't remember his name.
Mr. Bogle?
His son, I think, yes.
His son used to go to prep school. I believe. Go to Meadowbrook prep?
Yeah, I believe so. But his son or somebody that he knew used to be at the JDF, and a helicopter would land on that field at least once a week.
Oh, really?
And I remember, yeah, man, I remember that was a big thing. Yeah, it was a big thing because, as I said, mommy and daddy was there from them times there, you know. So we really saw, I got the opportunity to see Meadowbrook grow.
Transition, right.
You know, and again, because of that, there remains a kind of home is school and school is home kind of situation.
Yeah.
And I think it will be good when we're finished with this particular interview. So I'm gonna have my children and my son-in-law have a good listen at this, because it will also give them a greater appreciation for my journey.
Yeah.
You know, and why I am the way I am with the friends from Meadowbrook, because they know we have a very close relationship with each other. But I think it will give, and especially my wife too, will give them a kind of insight as to who I am and why I'm the way I am. You know, that kind of way. So I really appreciate the opportunity.
No problem. So your wife didn't go Meadowbrook?
No.
So we apologize for her for that. She miss out. My apologies.
Well, Martin was that's why I'm a bridge, you know, because Martin here took care of her for me.
Okay. I got you.
Thank you, Lance. Thank you for not asking any other questions.
No, nothing more. No.
Thank you very much, sir. You're a gentleman, sir.
So
Baba, you have any memory when Pekka came on the campus? I started selling out at the gate.
What I recall is him being over by the bus stop on Flemington Drive at first.
By the red carpet?
I think by red carpet.
Yeah.
That, if my memory serves me right, was the initial introduction of Pekka to school.
I remember. You remember what year that would be, Baba, if you can guess?
All right. It would be about, because I recall when I just 73, because I don't remember him around before that while I was going St. Richard's Primary.
Okay, I got it.
It was early up because when he transitioned and came around to the school and was allowed to come on campus, where I ate lunch was at Pekka.
Yeah, man, because Pekka right in front of the house, right? So now you get a proper spot, yes, yeah.
A proper spot. And when I go to Pekka, I don't go with money. Because my daddy just had this reach. I know, say must pay him afterwards somewhere or somehow, but daddy said, yo man, Chris go to Pekka. And that was my lunchtime. And boy, Callaloo sandwich used to run.
Yeah.
Yo.
You understand me?
Yo.
Yeah.
Tell you, man. Let me just take this time out just to say Pekka's Callaloo sandwich should be an award. It should be in the Smithsonian Institute. You understand?
Well, you know, Martin, Meadowbrook can have them on Smithsonian because we need to put some of them things there. That's one of them. Pekka Callaloo sandwich need to Yeah, man. Need to be retired in that. Yes, Martin. The recipe and everything, yeah. Bun and Callaloo. You remember that, Baba, Bun and Callaloo?
Yes, man.
Pekka used to have
the combinations, they were varied.
Yeah, man. The sweetest bread and cheese. Cause look like Pekka cheese always fresh, you know, Rasta. Pekka.
Yes, man. Melt tonight.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Melt tonight,
it just come out of the tin. Miles got the tin right there up on the spot. Yeah. The tin cheese. Yeah.
Well, one of the things I remembered, this is before I started, just as I started going to high school, there was this guy who used to come from Red Hills Road, Blackwood Terrace, and them cows, he used to have cows. And they would come on the compound sometime, I have to run them off and thing. And remember one day, supposed to be one of the bad guys, me and him was playing cricket. You know, them had that little concrete pitch just below. Yes.
Yeah, man. Right. Up at the top.
Right, at the practice right there. So, and he used to come across, I mean, I play cricket and so on every now and then. So after school up on a Saturday. And one day he beat me. So I said, because of course, me have the equipment, the wicket and the ball and bat and so on. So I said, yeah, man, you win, that's good. And him tease me. I said, but I feel no way I come and beat him sometime too. But the man go kick me in my bottom. No, me don't know where the rage came from, because this was a known bad man. I'm saying, no, everything drop. I'm a turn on, I'm a pounce at him, and it's like you could see the shock on him face and him turn and start run. I'm start kick him up. And go for some grown apple, I'm start put it on him.
Grown apple. You have to tell people what grown apple is.
Oh, sorry. Stones, rock stones. Yeah? I must see the man come as bigger size than me and turn the man start run like thief. Scale the fence and everything. But then him got some grown apple and me have to run now because I realized that, you know, the thing was going to step up. So I just disappear and go up on my yard. Once me reach close to where daddy can see me, I'm good to go. You know, so Interesting, because as I said, the concept of home being right at school, I remember I used to wait for the bell to ring and give myself about 3 minutes. I'm just rush go behind the art story block and go around behind it, the first to third farm block and reach around a foyer before my farm teacher reached, So those little things were nice, having this big space as a place that you can roam, and it really helped to keep me out of trouble. And I think about it.
Martin, you may listen to Baba quiet. All the pound man, Baba, it's if you never get saved. Martin, Baba a bad boy. I listen to him quietly and I say, yo, Baba a gangster, you hear me?
Hey, me can testify, sir. Trust me.
Baba looks Baba one of the man looks simple. Yeah.
It's not a simple time.
No, because the man it beat up. I remember Rochester big man to Baba, and Baba mashed him up in a first farm. I said, but Baba is not easy. And then I tell me, say,
Scott.
Scott. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. But I think you're right about Peckham. It's about 1973 in May when him just start come on. So when Peckham left Meadowbrook though, he actually got a send off and a severance package.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Great. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. There's I'm going to send the episode there. There's a teacher who teacher Meadowbrook from 2000. She had been on the podcast. Her name Miss Johnson.
Right. That's great.
She came on with Mr. Dean, yeah, man. Because Pekka was there for so long, and them, if we just reach a age, them couldn't do it no more, and them the school will take care of him. The school will take care of him. They put together like a package for him and all them with that. Pekka won away. That's all I can say. Pekka is an honorable man.
Yeah, man.
And with them,
indeed.
Yeah, man. In conversation, I don't know Pekka never go to Meadowbrook. I'll put it that way there. Never go to Meadowbrook during the time Pekka did there. Yeah, so yeah.
Didn't he have a son who was a baller?
No. It's Johnny Pekka you talk about. It was his nickname. Albert Ashley.
Yes, man. Big baller. Get you.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
in my mind, the first big centre forward come on Meadowbrook, man. And go and go play National League and all them with a big baller, that man. Yeah. Big time baller.
Yes, man.
Albert Ashley, Johnny Pekka, yeah. And that when they come and match Martin, that thing, you just leave them time there. The whole of Red Road come watch Meadowbrook play, man. And again,
yes, man.
As me tell you, say,
Meadowbrook should get called up because of Meadowbrook.
Yeah, man. And him come up on the campus, and I tell you, there was no vibes from Meadowbrook campus at all. Man from all walks of life come on. That was an amazing thing, man.
True.
That's an amazing thing.
And one of the things them too that I really appreciate about Meadowbrook during that time, each one of us, as you said before, we came from different political communities, but it's like when you reach a Meadowbrook, all of that just squash,
Yeah, man.
Because in my class, PNP and GLP did in our class, and we live good. You understand?
Yes.
Live good. We never have no kind of, you know what I mean?
But
and we didn't know. We know that someone come from certain place.
Right.
You have man from Sturlock Crescent, you have man from Tivoli, you have man from Jungle, you have man from all parts, Down from Whitehall Avenue,
Martin,
to the good.
You know have to go further than Red Road, Martin, because when you walk on Red Road, you don't know where the color change from Red Road, Unless you
Why you don't know whether if you hold up your fist or hold up your two fingers, you understand.
But you think about this, Tuano. Think about the school colors, You think
green and blue.
Yeah, the green. And nobody ever brand Meadowbrook a particular way, even though the green was prominent in our colors. You see me I said to you?
You're right, Lance. You never even think about that. You're right with that.
Because I don't think any other school could do that. It's like you can't imagine a school in another area. It's like a Mavan Green. It's like, we'd have a problem, but no for that should have to burn up at evening time. Well, if I hide, we'd have to.
True.
Let me ask you a question, Baba. Because this is one of the questions I ask people the memory, I ask about the future a little bit. Because the question is that one of the younger youth them come on, see how the Frank them, and I always like give man credit for the question them. And the question I must have asked is, what can be done to inspire Meadowbrook students, past Meadowbrook students, who want to give back to the school? What do you think can be done?
You see, this what we do right now?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an excellent platform because what it has done and is doing is to bring a very important reminder as to who nurtured you. The more airplay and travel that this have in terms of over the platform and information and memory is the more it will build, I believe, a reason to connect. Yeah, a reason to connect. The question at the beginning, did you choose Meadowbrook or did Meadowbrook choose you, is a very critical and analytical question. Because when a man or a woman who used to go to Meadowbrook sit back and look back on them life, them realize that there was something more than just a buck up, ordinary thing that took place at Meadowbrook. Because it would seem that most persons who came to Meadowbrook, especially during our time, those were the ones who were chosen to be placed at Meadowbrook and not necessarily placed at Meadowbrook. Because Meadowbrook was...
Meadowbrook chose them instead of them choosing Meadowbrook. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But having come to the campus, there was a camaraderie and a melting pot that caused the persons to move beyond, as Martin just said a while ago, their political persuasions. It became a safe haven, a place where, especially, because remember, I said 72 election was like 176 and 1980 and so on. When things were hot all around, you could come to Meadowbrook and feel that you're in a safe space. That is a major contributor, in my opinion. I think that's something that can continue to be done to bring people to remember you have to do something. I can tell you when I left, because we left the campus about 1980.
And wait a minute, what do you mean? The entire family left?
Mommy and daddy, yes, and myself, because that was time for us to transition out because they were retired and everything.
Okay.
And we went to Lady Huggins Avenue, which was off Shortwood Road, and that was one of the more volatile areas.
That's another volatile area, yes.
And I can tell you this, when we got there, and the bus, the truck, park up, before we could touch it in the man, and say, "Oh, wanna be? And where now come from?
Wow.
I wouldn't think when I go." You understand me? Because my parents found that place where us were still having transitioned. And daddy came back down because it was a dead end, and daddy come down the lane and say, "I am so and so and so." Right? And when daddy made him talk, I don't recall lifting anything out of that truck. Wherever the man them and woman them come from, everybody to start take off everything off of the truck and put down in the yard, put down in the house. You hear me I say to you? And when we settled in there, when I was coming home in the evenings, they were able to identify me. Once I get home, the entrance to the road was blocked off. Certain time of the night you hear when a certain gunshot go off, so the protection cadre of persons at the shift change. Yeah. I remember at one stage I heard gunshots till my belly bottom felt like it was going to drop out. Them times when you're in a yard or in your house, it's man 2-3 man pass through, jump the fence with them M16 and them rifle and this and that and the other. That was the 1980s. Yeah.
Oh.
Why is it significant? It's significant because certain things that happened at Meadowbrook gave me the kind of foundation I needed to be able to navigate all kinds of spaces. Yeah. And if you don't get a podcast like this, you're not able sometimes to connect the dots. is when you look back, and I'm saying looking back is 2020 vision, but when you look back, you see friendships, you see teachers, you see community, yeah? You see a student body, you see a set of people, regardless of losing 6th of 9 of whatever, they still never dropped it, still went into the competition. You saw a spirit that would fight in terms of not give up, regardless of. And so it manifested itself in the 80s.
Right.
All of the 6 love and the 16 love or whatever it is, and the place where people would laugh at us. You saw the Jeffrey Walter stepping up.
Yeah, man.
200 and 400.
Big him up. The first man with the gold medal at champs in Meadowbrook, man. I have to big him up. Big time. I try to get him for come on to. Yeah. And experiment call, man, that. Yes. Yes,
man. Sir Jeffrey, man. And so you see the different sparks. But it didn't start there, as I said, Lance. It started with some people losing but not giving up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
man.
And that foundation, we need to honor it and honor the persons and begin to rebuild. Because I know when the fighting happened at the school, we saw ourselves in social media.
Yeah. When the girl in my fight, yeah.
Yeah, that was this was distressing for me personally,
you
know?
Yeah. It pained all of our hearts, and it says, hey, what needs to be done? And persons were rallying around trying to find something meaningful. So I really believe that this podcast is one of those instruments that can begin to stir up again the kind of traditional support that the younger ones who are there would need, and to be able to have a space of listening to what their needs are, you know, and for those of us who have the capacity to give in terms of financially, the capacity to give in terms of talents and availability, if we can get together and hone those skills, be it away from Jamaica or otherwise, and just give a level of representation, because persons who have been there for a long time pushing, you know, and keeping it going. So for me, that I think is the way that we could go and should continue to go, to pull these interviews with the great memories so that we can see that what we have is a great school. Yeah?
Yeah, man. Yeah, bye-bye. I have a couple tasks on that, but before I go to that, because you mentioned something earlier, I mean, now I make it slip, you know. I wonder where Dukey get him name from, you know. But when you say me say father, make a talk with the man, them, you know. Martin, you see where Baba get him gangsters him from.
Hey, listen, like I said, I know other things that I could speak on, but then I know.
Yeah.
Virgin ship cover them thing, them man. Virgin ship, all them thing they lock, man.
But by the way, this question for the two now. Who introduced you to the podcast? When I went in the first start listening.
Well, Lance, you know, me and you attack. How this gonna? Both of us. You reach out to me. I think I don't remember. You know, it's when Lance last year, this year.
Last year, but you the year before you called me after a year. But me, I wonder how you get it.
Yes.
Come about my connection. We lose connection with you, you know. Me, I say, and you reach out to me. I think upon social media, I reach out to you upon Messenger and
yes, yeah. You did.
What you say after, that? Yeah.
You did one before Paulette and Eartha from Meadowbrook.
Yeah.
You did one before, and I saw it come up on your feed in Facebook.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, boy, it's a good thing this Lancer do, you know. It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember.
And then Mr. Paulette, then Mr. Paulette, and then Mr. a whole heap of other people that I know.
Yeah. Yes,
and I'm gonna say, yeah, and that is when we reach out, and then we both reach out, and the rest is now history.
Yeah. And you, bye-bye, when you first come across the part, where you get it? Me just curious to know how people are getting the message.
Similar thing as Martin. I think it's from our ISCF group.
Okay.
Small group.
Okay.
That the interviews and it started to click.
Yeah.
You know? And because what really happened to me is that I used to be on Facebook and so on, and after a while, when persons started reaching out, and because of my time situation and work and so on, I just couldn't keep up. I was not able to keep up and so on with some of them. And I felt badly that I'm on and people reach out. So I just started to step back a little bit. But this, for me, was something worthwhile looking at, and really.
Yeah, full disclosure, I was never on Facebook before I started doing this. I'd have a Facebook account, and even though if you look on Facebook, all I post on Facebook are just about Meadowbrook memories.
Get you.
Nothing about say. If you look for Facebook to find anything about me, you're not going to find it at all. And since I started doing that, that's Meadowbrook memories me I post. Because it's all about the memories to me. It's all about the memories, Martin and Bye-Bye. So, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a good thing.
But I'm just curious to know.
And can I tell you, I'm really very grateful for you doing this. Because it really pulls us back together, and it gives you some reminder as you were shaped at this place, man.
Yeah. And when I started, let me tell you what motivated me to start. It's like, we won Sunlight, right? And we won a whole competition in the 1980s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we go down back in 2016, a bird of holidays, right? And when I youth them reach out to me, Carlton Facey and Donovan Thomas, Che Greg, Dante, Martin, right? And they must say they have a trophy, they have something they want to give me to remember what they do at the school back in the 80s. I say, really? I never know say I remember that. Because I never forget it, because I know what I do for my school and what our team did. I say, right. How come, I say, nobody know even want, and I man say to Mr. Lance, if you not talk about it, nobody not going to talk about the memories. So I come back home, Martin, and I write a little book. The book finished from 2017. I have the book, and
really?
Yeah, man. I'm going to send it to you, man. Forget. Because I don't publish it in a format where it could have published it. But I just have it and just say, yeah, my personal journey through Meadowbrook. Right?
Oh, that's great.
And then 2021 now, reach out to another brother and I said, I want to do the podcast, I'm going to start. And my intention, Baba, was just to talk to the cricket and the football of them. Would they play with me? And I say, I say to myself in the margin, if I'm me when I go list it afterwards, that's not good enough for me. I love the story of them. And I am overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I can't tell you this. I'm overwhelmed by the response of people, resonated with people when I expect to reach out to me. Man, like you and Baba, because I know, I'm not surprised, the boy, and that's the boy. I'm come talk to Lance and all the way. So, yeah. So, I appreciate it. I'm just curious to know how I get the information. But it's just something that knowing Baba in terms of say, oh, yeah, the giving back, or, oh, yeah. And this is the idea we have, and I've thought about it in a couple of podcasts before. It not take no whole heap of money to do, and I got things we can do. I've spoken to some people at the school and some old students. I want to set up a program, Martin, where if a man want go to the school and go buy a lunch for a youth or a little girl, he's able to do that on a regular basis by setting up an infrastructure in place. You vet him and everything. Some man might be a foreign and him send a money go give a man and say, carry this little girl go lunch. Not off the campus, bye-bye. Just buy a lunch and sit down with him or her the day. And spend a 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and just start the dialogue with the past student and the current student. And believe you me, in no time, the culture of the school can change, if we can get it going. You see, I see, and that not take no way for money, Baba. Just take a infrastructure and somebody to manage it and say, boy, I got to vet the people. And a man knows him can send a money. You there foreigner, Martin. You send a money to a virgin. I say, boy, yeah, man. Go carry the youth for lunch today. And start a dialogue. And you can see where it go from there. That are just them idea. And then me come up with the idea then is a girl little younger than us come and she said she go down last year at one of the function them. And she carry a little girl or a little boy with her for the day around. And she learned so much. So that come to mind, but you don't really want to take nobody off the campus. And you want to do it on a consistent basis.
Yes.
You see, you can't keep the way you're doing. You have your career day. But I just say, let's have something where it's a consistent, ongoing thing. You have a dialogue with the youth, them, and I say, talk to them. And you'll probably know, say, a fight will come. The fight will embarrass the whole away. If you not talk to some youth at the school, if that was going on, the fight that wouldn't happen. You think about what I say, If a dialogue go on from... Yes, me I say, so...
Early up. So you see certain things that you know to deal with it.
Exactly, because you have a dialogue. And then, what I say, it should have been documented and we have to talk to each other like a man go down We put, and a matter of fact, the idea we may have is even tape the conversation, bye-bye. Edit out the youth them name. If we kind of really want to expose the youth or none. And then you just we post it, and then people can listen and know where the conversation are going. And the Meadowbrook student can hear what are going with the students at the school now. Trust me, it can spin off into some other things, man. I hope I can encourage people to do it. But me don't have the time for them things, Martin. Me just have to put out the ideas and that's it. Something like that could I put in place. So yeah. But I was just curious to know. But see what you can get him name, bye-bye. Big gangster.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But may I ask you a question, bye-bye? I seem like you take it, you know. We there talk for over 2 hours. Believe it or not. I mean, them ask bye-bye and I will have a question and Martin. It's me that the conversation just flow.
It's fluid, man. It does have flow.
Yeah. But may I ask you a question though? How it make you feel? I bring up back all the Meadowbrook members there after all these years, after 50 years, as I say. Because this year, at 50 years, you go Meadowbrook, 73 to 2023. At 50 years, you look back on. How it make you feel? I bring up back the members there, bye-bye.
It just gives me a warm feeling on the inside, and at the same time, a almost teary eyes, because it reminds me of first of all, my parents, who have died some time ago, but just the level of service that they gave to the school and how they interacted both with the staff members and the student, and the love that they were shown from both staff members and students. It just made me feel like I am rehearsing who my family is. And I'm not saying was, but is, because those memories are foundation and helps to guide and shape who I am today. It makes me feel good that I was among a set of persons whose heart was good, and intentions were good. They intersperse between the good, the bad, and the ugly was good, because what it allowed for is an appreciation for all kinds of people, and the fact that, and I'll say this again, that we were the beating stick of some people. I never had my head low at any point to say I go to Meadowbrook High School. It made me feel like here are some persons who sacrificed their time and talent to pour into me. Anywhere I see any Meadowbrook student from my time, and even current, but especially from my time, I can literally pick them up, hug them up. That kind of closeness. So it brings all of that back for me. And it really, as a parent now, makes me understand what my mom and dad did for me. Where they literally worked hard, honestly, and gave me a start as best as they could, so that, as you said earlier on, that I could now stand on their shoulders. My regret is that they didn't live long enough to see where I am today. To see their great grandchildren or grandsons from my side. That I'm sure would have made them very happy and very proud. It was great that they and live with us when we were, as Martin said, when we were living in Godfreylands in Meadowbrook, a good number of years ago, because they were able to interact, especially with all three, my son, my first son, my daughter, and my last son. And when I look where they are today and what they have achieved, everything came from mommy and daddy's sacrifice. And again, what makes me feel the way I feel is that persons treated us good. I can't have no memory of anybody making me feel less than, ever making my mom or my dad feel like they were nobodies or anything like that. And I wouldn't have known what it would have looked like at that time. But just looking back, that's a big deal. And their people skills, their love for people is what has honed where I'm at today and how I treat with people. Yeah? Because Martin knows my wife. You don't know my wife, Lance, but Janet is a people person. She's she gives not just of her time and talent, but resources to a lot of people. She is a person who started a ministry with some persons in the church that I go to, and had worked with those persons over a 2-year period, make them stop having like little goats and stuff, and got them to a point where they formed a company. I know they own their own company and running that company. That's a big deal as far as I'm concerned. Though she goes into the inner cities on the Crossroads banner and talk to these ladies about who they are. She has been in different parts of the world, of Jamaica, and deal with prostitutes, and had a shop in Montego Bay where she sold juice and sold books and counseled with these people, and really given a lot. And again, I would give credit to the shaping that Meadowbrook gave to me and those exposure and experience, and that's big for me right now. So, yeah, that's what I did books for me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you're not doing inspired work, bye-bye. Wait till my wife I do inspired work than me do, because, and I just say, all the way have a different role for pay, every one of us. You see me, I say to you. So, me there have the conversation because I was inspired to do it. Although me never get called like I was inspired by the same one who inspired to do this.
Yes, sir.
It's not that you, Martin. Everybody have a role to play, a different role. But I want to say something, Baba. You see, a couple times you said it earlier, but I'm not telling that joke, When Devon Jeffrey, him come on a program, and him say, when him take the job at Meadowbrook, him know Meadowbrook as a love school.
You mean we give love a lot or we get love a lot?
No, man, a pure love we get, man. Give, pure love we get. Yeah, man, I just for listening. Devon say, yeah, man, Meadowbrook is a love school, yeah.
An interesting twist.
A 2 times said this night, Baba, but I don't lie at it. Enough love we used to get on all the way. Until the tradition changed and we start winning and we're proud and we're winning and all them things. So, yeah.
Yeah. But can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Right now, you just push me back to 1979, was it? Or 78? Stadium.
Yeah.
Meadowbrook versus Kingston College.
KC, listen, talk about a match, bye-bye, because to me, that was a pivotal moment in the Meadowbrook history. But talk about a match from your perspective, bye-bye. I'm glad to bring it up, yeah.
Yeah, man. And we were, I think that year and for that particular match, we trained crazy. I mean, they want to put it on for me. And when we got there and we started to play the match, remember my man like Bonnie.
Bonnie Morrison, Leonard Morrison, yeah.
Morrison, yeah, man. And
Eva scored the penalty.
Eva. You understand me? I remember when we start balling, it's like them get shot. They must say, wait, I don't love school this. And I remember when Tete goes down, hold the ball in the penalty area, man. It's like him shock.
What do you name again? Baba, I realize you name a man about Pepe. Tete. Yeah.
I don't remember right name, but Tete nickname. And when he hold the ball for about the couple 4 or 5 or 3 or 4 seconds, and then let it go. And the ref see it.
Penalty.
And And when the breath blow the whistle and the ball spotted him, and Everton place it to the left side of the goalkeeper. That's what my memory tells me. And the goal going at the back of the net, man. That I'm hunting, my brethren would have played.
Yeah, man, and the promise, say enough love him, I'll give him, hear about that.
hey, you see when that match done, I'll walk off of the field and see, say, really, we? Listen, man, we won Money Cup that year.
No, Baba, no, yeah.
Serious thing.
No, Baba, I said another joke thing, because to me, in my mind, that was the most pivotal match I played in Meadowbrook in terms of, I said, after that, we believe so we could have done certain things, big time. Because we beat the great Kingston College for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah, man. It was a big, big thing. I just say, that match we win Money Cup that year, the Baba. You're right about that. That match inspired me to. All of the man who play, I remember them and all them things. It's me I said to you, just like that, Baba. I forget say you're not on that team. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you remember that, Baba. I'm glad you remember that. That was a pivotal match. And then I come back at school now, and then I just spun our top, but I just want to get a big show. Big. I call up on stage, and it's like a big thing, man. It was a big thing, Baba. No for them thing, it's a pity, so whenever I have camera like no, for sure back to the youth, the man I said. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that's why I have them conversation that them can't go listen back over and over, and I say, I can enough man ever come and talk about it, man. Ever talk what a penalty there. Bye. Ever I've been on this program too with Devon come on together. So yeah. I each got the 11 tape that one. So yeah. No, but never a couple more questions, bye-bye, because I promised Martin so me not do the marathon like
no, we can't do the marathon again tonight. You know? Although we're in a good company.
Yeah, man. And the conversation will flow as ever. Two more questions I have for you, bye-bye, before me ask you my last question. What the best learning experience you get from Meadowbrook?
The best learning experience, I believe, it's how to live in community. Yeah? How to live in community. The personalities were varied. So I will call some name. When I have a man like Patrick Rochester, where if a teacher look upon him too hard, him just explode. No offer. You understand me? And at the same time, Patrick come like say must be about 2 or 3 children already by the time he get to football. I don't think he did. But you know, so this was a big man.
Yeah.
You understand? Exposure and experience. Unity. I remember having this teacher. Do you remember? She's an Indian teacher. And she came and she used to give the class a hard time. And we decided that one day we didn't like how she was treating us. And we locked the door. And she couldn't come in.
Oh, but we land now. You see all them little talk and all that. So when you go on with phone things too. Wait a minute.
Yeah, man, we locked the door, man.
You lock her out, bye-bye.
Lock her out. Yeah? And then another time, she was going out with her food. She come, to get detention from her often. And I think it was Chong who brought a laughing box to school.
Who that, bye-bye?
Chong, what was his first name? There were 2 brothers, the older one. Him and Statius was brethren. Alan Statius was brethren. I can't remember his first name. But anyway, he brought a laughing box to school. And when she come in and says, class, turn to the page, what in your lecture book? And she start reading. Does he, what? Said, what is that? What is that? And man, everybody quiet. All the girls are quiet. And she start reading again and put on her head and just start passing laughing box around the different guys them inside of the class. And one time I sure such a catch from him. Because it was like was coming over from his side.
Mm-hmm.
And so she walked over a chair and desk and go over to him and hold on for the desk to open it. And I hold it down. I said, jeez, I will get caught. And then because I released, that just a boom out of the desk. Nothing inside the here from the other side of the class. Take up our bag that day them and leave and never come back. That was the end of our time at the
Martin, you don't know that story.
No, I never know that one, the boss. That one new to me. Yeah.
A different ways to discipline the teacher, Martin, without touching them. They're different.
Oh, wow. Yeah, man.
And for the record, bye-bye, you say Alan says that thing you talk about Anthony. Alan did not my class. Anthony did not your class.
Yeah.
Anthony says so. Yeah.
That's right. Yes, bigger brother. Yes.
Anthony was the older one. Alan started Meadowbrook together in 74, yeah.
Right. I can't remember Chung, his Chung first name. But anyway, that was
Robert seemed to be coming up in my head. Robert Chung.
No,
I'm not sure if it's that. It's him.
No. But anyway, I'm going to find it. But in terms of those things, community, melting pot experience, knowing how to work with different persons, I just never felt like there was anybody who was better than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there was almost a leveling of the playing field, and that for me was also instrumental in my perception of people. People are just people. You have some people who come who was rich, and you know it based on how them dress or the money they had in them wallet or them pants or
the car would drop them off at school.
Drop them off. That's right. The car would drop them off. And that did not matter to me because when I was doing tennis more than anything else, I remember in particular, I don't know what happened, but Dwight Mendes had this, we're playing a football match or something, or training quotes, and he got hit in his stomach and his stomach was getting hard and to send for his aunt and got carried up to hospital by my bigger brother girlfriend and so on. There was never a time that somebody needed help that I am aware of. That person's just passed you by or just didn't care.
And ignore you. Yeah.
This was a caring community.
Yeah.
This was a caring community.
And the name I said Baba, Peter Chung.
Peter Chung.
Yeah, man. I look on the yearbook here. Peter Chung. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Those things. Important. Yeah. And I saw there was this young lady, Joy Richards, who in third form, she was coming to school one day and a lady, I was driving her car and something slipped and she went on the sidewalk and hit her down. And really did mash her up for a while and she was out of school for a little bit. And I remember she started coming back to school and everybody rallied around her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never made a
remember her, man, is a brown skin girl, tallish.
That's right. Tallish.
Brown skin girl, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, so all of those things in terms of lessons, these are life lessons learned for me, and the kind of community that we had was one that showed the care, concern, and a respect for who you are. People didn't make you feel any less. Yeah, but run them joke and everything.
Yeah.
What I saw was persons who appreciated people for who they were. Work with them. So yeah. That's what I would say.
I just called some name, Baba, before I go to the last question. I ask Martin to remember this. Martin, remember a youth named Carlos, if you can tell him last name in your class. Carlos. I'm telling the incident and see if you remember. Me and I walk home one day and reach a price right. And Carlos I run down the bus to catch a 37 bus. And the bus leave him. And Carlos stop at the mirror right at the post office and go on like I'm here, I'm gonna fix.
Oh man.
Martin, remember that incident there?
Oh my Goodness.
But yeah,
Well,
some memories come up sometime when you bring up certain name.
Some memories come up, Bridget. I remember that one day.
Yeah. I forget the name. I forgot to look at the yearbook. But me ask you, second to last, before me ask you the last question, bye-bye. Well, not really a question. This is for the two anyway, you take this first, bye-bye. Is there any question, anything we could have asked, anything we want to talk about where I didn't? Where I want to bring up where I didn't at all. Your floor are yours, we'll put that way there.
Okay. Well, for me, the part of my memory, was the pretty girls then. No, trust me. I am glad I went to a co-ed school.
Yes, man. We can vouch for that, though, yeah.
Yeah. Meadowbrook had some pretty girls. Yeah. And that kind of community, the kind of competition that Meadowbrook had internally, you never have, I don't recall hearing about a man stabbing somebody today. Yeah, in terms of how we lived and worked out the differences.
You know, it was a love school, as Devon said, bye-bye.
Yeah, but that's significant because when you hear the reports, almost every school you hear about now, some really weird and difficult, as we have seen what happened at Meadowbrook. Yeah, and I think part of the reason for that, I believe the ISCF in our times, Interschool Christian Fellowship, had a big influence on the school.
And it was a vibrant thing. Based on what I said, it was a strong, vibrant, and passionate thing. Yeah.
Very strong.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
It went as far as when after I got saved and Martin recommit and so on, and the guys called and Jackie and Rose and Paulette and Caroline and all Earth and Georgia and all the girls and guys that were a part of that committee and so on. I remember we had an ISF week that we did, which was an Interschool Christian Fellowship week where we had activities every day after school and during lunchtime. And Martin walked in one day with it was a lead guitar, Martin? I think it was a lead guitar, electric guitar. Yeah? And somebody brought a drum set. And Stevie Samuels had a bass guitar. I think Stevie was playing the electric lead guitar and I had the bass guitar. And we were showcased at Assembly Hall on that Monday morning. And that song that we played was The Blood. The blood prevails. I remember the song because Jackie was at the keyboard and the other girls were singing and so on.
Which Jackie that bye-bye?
Which Jackie?
Yeah, Jackie Morris?
Yes, man.
Okay, yeah.
And when we done written up that tune there and put it together and send it out to the rest of the school, I could hear the buzz afterwards. Whoa, ISF. And I remember, if my memory serves me right, it was some nearly over 200 students that during that week made a commitment to the Lord. And some teachers also. So it really did have a great influence in just the behavioral pattern. And that was a year, I believe, when we go to Manning Cup to play at Stadium, we'd pray first. And then after, a lot of other schools start joining in that kind of custom to pray before the match starts and so on and so forth. So that's what I would like to highlight. And I really believe that even though we got love, we're able to share it among each other, that contributed to the good, the warmth that you spoke about, that when I remember our school days, I believe that is an intricate part of what took place. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. And for the record, Martin, Carlos sang the youth the name.
Carlos sang.
Yeah, man, yeah. Midnight year class, yeah. And Martin, for you, anything where you don't want bye-bye or anything where we could have bring up or we never bring up none at all?
Well, not really, I mean, because
I mean, me and Chris talk often, and got Jamaica, me stay and me hard and all of them thing there. But the main thing that I believe my focus is that the youths them, me have a heart for the youths them that are in the system right now that probably have learning disabilities, as I have said on my podcast. Sometimes these children are rebellious and them give trouble and all of them things. And sometimes it's not just because they want to give trouble; it's because of the processing situation.
Yeah.
But I firmly believe that if we form some kind of move towards just getting some attention in that realm, that things will go better.
Yeah.
And of course, the strengthening of the spiritual content of the school, is what is paramount in my mind. So basically that.
I firmly believe that, Tomat. I think something can be done and should be done in that direction, that where you find out. We have a system in place at Meadowbrook where we can assess if a child have learning disability and deal with it. And you say you are aware of systems that can put in place. So yeah, I'm going to push for that, Martin. Don't worry. I will be pushing for that and talking to the people. The powers that be, as they would say.
Yeah.
Because I love say that. That's one thing. As a matter of fact, I was so, but you know that too. I was so passionate about after when I listened to your thing, I said, right, this podcast, I need to go that people can hear it over and over and over, because it's a strong message you send to someone. Strong message. So yeah. And every time you come and you want to talk about it, you just make sure you remind me that I bring it up same way. I say, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir, bye-bye. The last question. Yeah, go ahead, Martin. Sorry.
Mom, because I said my Bluetooth, I didn't know, so.
Oh, yeah, man. No, may I wrap it up. Bye-bye. The last question. What made Meadowbrook magical?
I'm going to say the people and the environment. You see where the location of Meadowbrook High School is?
Yeah.
We said it without saying it this way. When you come from your hotspots, especially in the 80s and the troubled times, Martin said it, when you came to school, this was a place of rescue, that you knew that you were safe and that you could let down your hair, you could remove your mask, and you could be you. And it's like persons who were there would treat you like you're a human being and that you're important to them. That is the environment, the place, the physical location. And because of that, it made the people magical. Yeah. You learned to deal with the different kinds of scenarios, everything that you would have wanted to experience in life. If you were paying attention, you'd have had the tools to be able to work through those situations, and you would come away with a desire to win. Yeah, that's what made Meadowbrook magical for me.
Yeah, one. Yeah. Well said, bye-bye. Well said. And before I go, I'm just ask you a closing remark. Martin, closing remark, and I'm make bye-bye. Give me a closing remark before I close out the program, yeah.
Well, it's always a pleasure. And one of the things that I recognize is that to change a culture, there has to be conversation. And there has to be conversation on a wide scale. And I appreciate this format. And if we keep talking about it with these questions that you have at the end, how we can improve the thing and make it better. That is the key thing for me. So let us keep the conversation going, and the conversation must turn into some kind of action, some kind of mobility after this.
The action after the conversation, and we'll motivate enough.
After the conversation.
Yeah, we have to start take action. I agree with Martin. Action have to soon start take. Yeah. And we're going to encourage that. We're going to encourage that. And bye-bye. Any closing remark? before I close this out.
Well, yeah, man. You said earlier on, Lance, that you were inspired. This podcast, you may not know now, but throughout the course of time, may have already saved somebody's life. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because they paused and listened to it. Maybe somebody sent it to them, or they were browsing and saw it some way, somehow, and decided to take a listen. And it caused them to say, but no, these things happened at this school, these experiences happened at this school. I can make it. Something good can become of me. And here is a platform that if you spend the time to listen, you realize that you're not alone and you can make it happen, whatever that it is. So I want to continue, as Martin said, to have the conversation, for you to have that conversation. And what would be interesting is if at some point there could be a coming together of all your guests around some things, just in the same space,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know. I know that next
Zoom,
week,
or Zoom
yeah,
or something, as we are all
yeah,
at different times.
yeah.
So
And no matter what we do, we may not necessarily be able to get everybody up. But when you have a Zoom thing, you can hit 90%.
Yeah.
And just, you understand what I'm saying, Lance? And you just introduce the thing.
Yeah.
And just hear people comment. Because when somebody sees my face, or I see some people's face, I say, but my God, do that. It brings back that warmth.
Yeah.
It brings back that memory, you know. It says, wow, you know. And it may be that one of us may be having our own crisis or struggle. And just that coming together makes somebody else aware. And somebody can go one side and say, hey, you know that Peter so, and two persons go and, yeah, make something happen to get back that person on track. So that really would be a great thing to happen. So keep doing it, Lance. Keep being inspired,
Yeah,
you know, and reaching out, because you are doing something great.
Can't give it
all
up.
right, one more thing, Lance. A man listen to number 71 podcast there from Meadowbrook in our ISA group. And so I never big him up. So I just want to take this opportunity to big up the original Pharaoh, Leighton Paris. Also from, and when he left Meadowbrook, he went to Africa. If it's a man you need to talk to, you understand?
Nigeria.
Went to Nigeria in about 78, 79 thereabouts. You understand?
Yeah,
And his perspective is going to be a unique one if he does come on. But big up yourself, Leighton.
Him call you out, Martin. Him call you out. Nothing personal. You can't remember everybody's name. You cannot. You can't remember. And thank God to drink. And he said something to Baba is like, once one of them conversation here, and Erta, and I think it was with Pilot one. Because teachers, some teachers might need help too, farmer teachers,
Yes.
So we're not leave them out, We're not leaving them out.
Yes, you're right.
That's why I'm include teachers in the conversation, them. Former teachers have been on the program because, it's me I said to you, but some teachers will be needing our help going forward. So I have that in mind. I said, boy, it's me I said, and sometimes people might be too proud to ask for help. I even accept the help, but if it's me I said to you, I just a conversation here, sir, and as it come to my mind, I just put it out there and I say, right, it's not about just the alum them alone, man. The teachers them, man.
Yes,
some of the staff them like your mother and father, bye-bye, who probably like how they take care of Pekka. It's a message to you. It's a message to you. And I forget to ask about this before I go. What kind of relationship did your father have with Reds?
Hey, you want to start to the program? All right, Daddy, we live at off Redhills Road.
Yeah.
That is where I told you I used to be at St. Richard's Primary. That's where we were living at that time. And Daddy and Reds were close friends. Close friends. Yeah? And that relationship continued through my early years into my teenager years.
Okay.
Yeah? Daddy had a way, I believe, of just people, because it can play domino. You understand me? And you know, say, when him I tell you the same domino than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because of that was a part of his fame in getting to know persons getting to know him. Of course, over the liquid stuff from time to time. But it's not a good relationship because we literally lived almost in the same yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Redhills Road. Yeah.
Yeah, man, bring up Blackwood Terrace. Yeah.
And for the record, Reds are the groundsman at Bottomfield, Mr. Barnes. Look at us.
Yes, man. The original Mr.
It's
Barnes.
He was a podcast by himself.
Indeed.
Anyway, gentlemen, let me close out the program here. Christopher, bye-bye, Senior.
Yes,
Martin Brown, that's been a real pleasure. A conversation is easy, effortless, and just smooth and flow. Thank you both for coming on, come spend the evening. I talk about Meadowbrook, our Meadowbrook memories, because all our memories. And God bless all the way on that great school at 2A Meadowbrook Avenue. Will bring us together after 50 years. Bye-bye. We can have them conversation like we're still in Meadowbrook attack. So, thank you both, and God bless you, and God bless that great school at Meadowbrook High School. Have a good night, my brother.
All right, Bridget. Good.
Yeah, man. Peace. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, Martin Cole. So, remember to like, share, and subscribe these Meadowbrook Memories podcasts so neither you nor your friends will miss another Meadowbrook conversation. Thanks. Thanks for listening to Meadowbrook Memories, and remember to give us all the support and encouragement you can on whatever social media platform you are listening. And special thanks to my production manager, Kyle Prince, who takes care of everything involved in getting the podcast out every week. And without him, this podcast would not be possible. It is his expertise that allows me to do what I love doing every week, having great conversations about Meadowbrook memories, and he's responsible for everything else. So again, thanks to my production manager, Kyle Prince.